106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Welcome to the Goddamn Podcast with Drew and TJ. Let's get this goddamn thing started.
Let's get this goddamn show started.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll hit a few videos. We'll play a couple Thug Lives, and we do have a special guest lined up, a special interview that
yes.
hopefully the person we're interviewing is smart enough to figure out how to log into Skype, and we can actually get this thing going. I would like to open up with a viewer suggestion that totally threw me the fuck off. Enjoy this insanity, I guess. It's awesome insanity, but insanity nonetheless.
Body powder that you can spray? What could be next? Skin. I nurture my skin. No, tell everyone. Do the gold bond tingle. I nurture my skin. Foot powder spray. Tell everyone. I nurture my skin. Gold bond. No, tell everyone. I get supple. I nurture my skin. Stay cool. Gold bond. No, tell everyone. I get supple. Man up. I nurture my skin. Gold bond. Man up. No. Foot powder spray. Man up. I nurture my skin. I get supple. No. Man up. Man up. I nurture my skin. Man up. No. Stay cool. Skin. Man up. I nurture my skin. Go by. Man up. No. Go by. Body powder that you can go by.
Yeah. That was a viewer suggestion, so thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, let me see if I can find a good crazy. Yeah, that part is crazy. No, the fucking weird. No.
What could be next?
That freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, I know. Like the first time I saw that.
Instead of Amazing Orange, it's like Amazing Negro or something. That's what it looks like. Oh my god, that is freaky. And then the other one, the other part that was like, what was when he's like foot powder spray. That.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Somebody wants me to link it. Just look up mushrooms. Shaq on YouTube. Look up Shaq Gold Bond, Mr. Sheriff. That's. If that doesn't pop, it should pop right the fuck up. It's not an unpopular video, so have fun. Go find that. Jesus. Thanks for the suggestion. Really, really appreciate it. All right, let's get on to the actual show. We're going to open up with a fun one here. I don't know if you've heard about this, Drew, but wow.
Obama doesn't have to run for re-election again. A lot of these guys do. So if they're doubling down with the White House on what is increasingly proving to be a naive approach to this evil, they could pay with their jobs. Listen, I would like to think that these guys could pay with their lives, hanging from a noose in front of the U.S. Capitol building.
She's talking about black congressmen, by the way.
Because what they are doing is they are putting their own interests above that of America. And to me, that is criminal.
Except that's exactly what Christians do. Constantly. They put their own like religion and their beliefs and all that ahead of what's good for America and all that shit. They don't give a rat's ass about it, do they?
I think I heard about this. There was just some, I just knew there was some crazy lady talking about hanging black people.
Yeah, well, it gets worse.
Criminal. And guess what? Most of those members who are opting out of attending the speech are members of the Congressional Black Caucus. And their districts are all dumb clocks. because the dumb clucks wouldn't be electing these people if they knew better. So all of these Congressional Black Caucus people, the representatives, they reside in safe congressional districts. And several of the members have said in the media that they see the speech as disrespectful to the president. How do people like this get elected to represent us in Congress? Because there are stupid people out there in those congressional districts who are so ignorant, it's dangerous.
The projection is strong. It seems like she doesn't seem to understand that, you know, the same could be said of people like you who
we say it all the time.
Yeah, dangerously ignorant, and you have politicians who are in like safe districts where they can do crazy shit and won't get, you know, voted out, and like people don't even run against them because they know it's a fucking lost cause in that kind of area because of the redistricting and shit they've done.
But by the way, was that dumb clucks? Is that what she said?
I think she said clocks. I don't know. Clocks
dumb
or clucks
in these districts. Must be like some old.
I guess a dumb clock just still always shows up to vote or something. I don't know. Like you show up.
So maybe it's like kind of clever, but probably not.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to probably give her too much credit. Let's try and finish this. It's almost over.
Because these people that they elect into Congress vote. And when they vote, their vote affects us. I don't know who I'm angrier with. Quite frankly, I don't know who I'm angrier with. These people, these heinous people who occupy the halls of Congress, or the dumb clucks that put them there.
She's saying clucks instead of fucks.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I was like, okay, that one sold it.
I was trying to give her too much credit. She's saying clucks instead of these dumb cluckers. This mother clucker, like, oh, you're so clever.
Oh Jesus! And she's
like,
to
no,
hang,
I'm calling them chickens. Yeah. She was saying hang them in front of the fucking Capitol building. It's.
And what is this in like direct response to?
Oh, I don't.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it was in response to disagreeing with Netanyahu's speech.
Oh God damn!
I believe.
Yeah.
Her name is Andrea Shea King. Yeah, she's a complete fucking she wants to hang people. She's a Tea Party radio.
Oh no, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
Anyone who would say something like calling black people dumb clucks.
I liked your
wants to hang on.
I liked your comment before the show. You said if the Tea Party and the Green Party merged, could they call it the Green Tea Party?
Oh yeah.
You'd get a lot of those new age dipshits in there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's finish it off. It's almost over.
Stupid people. Yes. Our lives are on the line, and all they can think of is skin color.
Oh my God.
You know, all of us are going to turn black if we end up in a cage on fire.
What? I think we're all black if you turn the lights out. Not we're all black if we end up in a cage on fire. Jesus Christ, lady.
Yeah. That's
and I understand I understand she's talking about ISIS. But at the same time, like, okay, you're saying that what? It's either go with Netanyahu, like let him run America pretty much, or you're giving in to ISIS or something. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, they don't, the Tea Party people, they don't like, you know, they don't like bullshit around with that. They come straight out and even just say it. They much prefer Netanyahu to Obama.
Oh yeah. 4-minute standing ovation. Obama never gets that shit.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Like you see them at like the State of the Union speeches and stuff like that. Like none of them stand up and they're all just like this uppity nagger here. I've
got Obama featured in one of the Thug Lifes.
Oh.
I'm not sure if for the people that stick around. I've got 3 Thug Lifes. I'm play 2 of them during the main show and 1 at the very end for those that stick it out. You know how I do. I like to reward the people that stick it out.
Yeah. It's a little cock tease. He just kind of
he
puts the tip in just and takes it right back out. Says no.
You're not ready for it, are you? All right, let's move on.
Jesus. And that lady how is she affiliated with the Tea Party? I mean, she's not like an elected official, is she?
No, I believe she's just a Tea Party radio DJ or person that fills up an hour at some point, probably.
Okay, so what she probably does is says what the Tea Partiers want to hear, but the politicians can't actually say, probably.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Just like Rush Limbaugh. And they claim that the right wing is not far right enough and that Obama is a far leftist. They are trying so hard to shift that political spectrum.
Yeah.
To be in the center right is actually the left, and to be far right is actually center right. So we're just going to shift the whole thing over because we want to be as fucking right as possible. And yeah, it's disgusting. Like we covered in the Skeptic Fence show, 57% of Republicans want to dismantle the Constitution in order to call America a Christian nation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Got to move on. Here's one of those type of people right here.
Hello everybody, Wild Bill for America here. It seems to me that many of the problems in this nation began just around the time liberalism reared its ugly face in our education system. That was when colleges started providing programs like women's studies, black studies, and Chicano studies, all geared towards tearing down America's unity as one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, because you understand, when you just look at studies without looking at the history behind different cultures, you know, we're a melting pot. That's why studying other cultures is so terrible, because we're accepting of everybody. So studying anybody in particular is offensive. It's tearing down the fabric that America's built on. You understand? Because we're a melting pot. You see how that makes sense, Drew?
Oh, I see, TJ. And I want to say he even says that later on. I don't know if it was this video or one of the other ones that I had shared with you. And the guy said something on the lines of like, yeah, well, that's before we got all multicultural. And we got all this multicultural and stuff like that. America just goes downhill. It's like, dude, that's what the whole point was. The whole point is that it comes from that. All of us immigrated here, God damn it.
I love driving through, like, Orlando has like a you know, I wouldn't call it a Chinatown. It's a lot of Vietnamese shit, but, you know, Asian town. I love going through there. I love like finding a little back alley restaurant and getting some like dumplings or some shit. Are you kidding me? I love that shit. But he doesn't want that. I guess it's just like America, 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 America. Thank God we killed them Injuns. You know, like, and took over, made it a good Christian land, and let's not be accepting of anyone else, even though like they're all about freedom and liberty, and the Statue of Liberty says, "Give me your, you know, your tired huddled masses," you know, all that shit, and they ignore all that. Don't be, you know, loving or accepting or Jesus-like, by the way, for a fucking Christian. None of that shit. Just pure hatred. And if you try to acknowledge that there are different cultures and you can learn different things from them, or like, you know, Black history, there is stuff to be learned about Black history, because guess what? Blacks weren't always equal, so there's a history behind, like, you know, how they became equal and what happened to them before that, and how they, you know, there's a fucking history there. And to say that because by the way, it's not a mandatory class, it's a fucking elective.
Yeah, these are college classes.
It's an elective. Well, there are some mandatory. If you want a degree, you have to take a class, but I've never heard of you have to take a class. Like I wanted to take world religions when I went to college, and it was actually a really fun class. They didn't just focus on Christianity or anything like that. That's for damn sure.
That's one of the funnest classes I took in college.
Dude, that's a class worth taking, even if you're not gonna like get a degree. It's worth you know, paying the money just to take that class, because it is really enlightening.
What I want to know is, out of all the shit that you could possibly name off, it was like when America started going downhill because of women's studies and African-American relations and stuff. Like, dude, what of all the shit you could say that America did bad is like we started letting like people learn about like the history of what women invented. And
tearing apart the fabric of America, Drew. Get with it, bro.
What are we going to do? We going to send the men to the kitchen? Somebody's got to make them sandwiches, Steve.
And by the way, the fabric of America was made in China.
One of America's biggest blunders was not protecting the integrity of our national education system.
Oh my God. Which was something that Democrats and liberals and everything have been. But wait. Does he mean protecting, like giving them money so they can properly educate our children, or does he mean mean protect in a different way? Let's find out.
Purveyors of hatred should have never been tolerated. And now the harm they have done to faith and freedom and families is devastating, not to mention the hatred and hopelessness they have planted in the hearts of America's youth.
Okay, so it wasn't that we screwed up by not giving them a decent budget so they can actually like properly teach kids and not have overcrowded classrooms and you know, they can get new books and shit like that, or even school lunches and shit like that. It's not that that's the problem. It's that we allowed classes that didn't just push the like white Christian agenda, I guess. And that is poisoning the minds of children.
Yeah, this is what they made. Remember that whole thing that came out in Ohio about how they're going to revamp the history education or whatever? Or Oklahoma, I think it was Oklahoma. Yeah, that's like the whole thing. It's like they're going to sweep, okay, you know, slavery, yeah. Indian genocide, yeah, get that out of here. Where's that American exceptionalism now? Where's Jesus was one of the founding fathers. Moses gave the 10 Commandments to Thomas Jefferson.
And
that shit.
Ronald Reagan was king of America.
Back in them good old days, when Reagan was king of America.
Back before the Democrats and Barack Hussein Obama. Hussein in bold capital letters, please.
God damn it.
Speaking, oh God,
I do like his hat though. His hat.
Really? I think he looks like a complete moron. That freeze frame is pretty accurate. Like underneath the skin, no matter what face he's making, that's what he's thinking. Like, duh.
Yeah, and not to be, you know, a material guy or whatever, but I'm just saying, if I was walking through somewhere and I saw this guy standing there, I'm thinking, okay, this guy's probably an idiot. You know, he's probably ultra conservative. He's probably going to tell me all kinds of shit about the Bible and how it's part of the Constitution. That's what I would think from looking at a distance. That's what I would think.
Here's a fun story. I was standing in line at like a Walgreens, and they had on the thing you could donate $1 to like St. Jude's or some shit, and the guy was fucking retarded, and he was like, "What do I push? What do I push?" And it's like it's asking if you want to donate. He's like, "I don't want to donate nothing. I donate enough to Obama."
Oh my God!
He said it just like that. I was like, oh my fucking God. And so he finally figures out how to work the fucking hit, like, no cash back. Yes, the amount is correct. All that shit that Walgreens puts you through. And so when I get up there and the thing asked me, I donated $2. I was only going to donate $1, but I figured I'd donate $1 for that dipshit.
That's funny as shit, dude. And America is just, like, full of those people, especially because we both live in the South. The South is definitely full of these fucking people. And dude, it's so embarrassing. Because I remember one time, you know, Cult of Dusty, he had this video, right? And he was talking about how whenever he meets somebody from anywhere else, and as soon as they hear that accent, they're like, okay, this guy's fucking retarded. And it takes you like an extra hour of conversation to convince people you're not a complete fucking idiot.
Oh, that's what happened when I met you. I'm like, wait a second. This guy's from Texas. I don't trust him. He looks like he eats at McDonald's 4 meals a day, maybe 5. It's like, damn, man. And plus, he obviously is too poor to afford a haircut.
Yeah.
Feel bad.
Well, that last bit is true. I don't eat McDonald's 4 times a day. We have Jack in the Box here.
I was thinking maybe if we hit the $1,000 goal, you donate your hair to a bald kid. What do you think?
For $1,000?
For the $1,000 goal, if we hit it on Patreon. You know, we'll add that in there. And that'll be instead of the Dutch rudder. And so that way we don't have to actually, like, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, if I have a choice between you and I doing Dutch rudders together and cutting my hair, I'd probably cut my hair before.
I'm giving you an out here. But yeah, I wouldn't leave you hanging. I mean, my hair is not.
I would hope not. The Dutch rudder's just not working right.
But yeah, my hair is not as long as yours or anything. But maybe I would, I don't know, shave my face or something.
Yeah, Pumpkin just had that idea. He said, "Drew, donate your neck beard to a hipster."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
we'll do,
awesome.
Pumpkin.
Yeah,
we'll do.
All right, let's try and fucking finish this off.
So, why don't we start repairing the devastation by offering conservative science degrees? I think that would be a very popular major.
Does that not sound scary as fuck?
Conservative science degrees, where they deny like evolution, they deny climate change. They're like pretty sure the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
also,
how
the
come
center.
people on the side don't fall off? It must be flat.
I don't know about your theory of gravity, but I do know about my theory of Jesus. This is fucking embarrassing, man.
It is.
Oh, God. I bet you this guy rides like a Harley or something like that, trying so hard.
You mean a still horse?
What? Yeah, like maybe a flathead or an Indian. He's trying so hard to be like, I know what's really going on, and I'm cool and hip, and I've got style. And yet he has none of it. He doesn't know what's going on. He's not cool. He's not hip. He doesn't have any fucking style. And he really thinks, because there are other morons out there that need somebody to fucking say what they think on YouTube. You know what I mean? They're not open-minded. Like, this guy would never admit he's wrong, ever, about anything. Yeah. He'd be like, I wore a blue shirt when I recorded that video, and then you show him the video, and he's like, well, I think my contrast was just off.
But I imagine, just from the backdrop he has there, I imagine he's at like a whites-only like Rotary Club, like by the bay. That's where I like imagine that, dude. It's not the only brown people that are allowed in are the people that maintain the grass, like that sort of deal.
Something along those lines, I'm sure. I don't know, man. The guy he's an idiot, a complete idiot, and dude, Wild Bill isn't he from Alaska? Oh
God. I don't know. I used to have such a high opinion of Alaska until I found out Palin was from there. And then, like, from there, I'm sorry, anybody that's Alaskan that is watching this, I'm sorry, dude. You lost, like, all credibility now. Now you're suspect as fuck.
You betcha. Let's give him 30 more seconds. If he doesn't say anything more interesting, we'll move on.
Students would get a strong background in free market economics, also known as capitalism. They would study how capitalism is the world's most powerful tool to create jobs and prosperity.
I believe they already have that class. It's called economics.
Yeah, none of this has to do with science.
Or conservatism. It's just fucking that, like, here's how our fucking our capitalist system works. And here's how you learned about like supply and demand and shit like that, and coming up with your proper graphs and equations to figure shit out. That's economics, and having a basic understanding of that like supply demand chain. And he's acting as if they don't teach that already. But put a conservative tinge on it. Like, by the way, corporations are people. That will be a question on the test.
But these are also the people that think that college is just indoctrinating kids into liberalism, because most of the kids that come out way like more liberal than their parents, and that they probably were whenever they went in, because their parents fed them all this shit. They go in, they go off to college for a while, they start hanging out with all these different cultures, different people with different ideas. They actually start learning shit, and then they kind of come out like, well, maybe that is kind of fucked up. There they go.
Coming to your own conclusions is a liberal agenda thing, Drew. All right, and I'm surprised that you would even promote it here on the goddamn podcast.
Well, I'm so liberal that my mind is just all...
No.
It's like a knot.
Liberal's not the word. I was thinking more like hippie hipster.
Hippie hipster?
Hippie hipster.
Maybe like I should be like an Occupy like protester.
You're probably dirty enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably that guy that took a dump on that the hood of the cop car, right?
There was a guy that took a shit on the cop car?
I'm pretty sure. It got a lot of attention from the conservatives because they're like, this is what they're doing. All of them are pooping on cop cars.
Yeah, this is what happens when you send them to college. Get them an education, they shit on a cop.
Exactly. First thing they do is grow out them dreadlocks and then like use a cop car as toilet paper. Just rubbing themselves right on the fender. Dirty assholes.
Quite the visual.
Oh.
For the most people, they would learn how every successful anti-poverty program was based on capitalism.
Whoa, wait a minute. What?
every successful anti-poverty system was based on capitalism.
No, true, unfettered capitalism is the exact opposite of that.
That's where you basically die of starvation.
Yeah, because they say, and like all the people that say about this shit with healthcare, like even before Obamacare, they're like, oh, these fucking immigrants come over here and they don't have healthcare and they get hurt. Fuck them. All these people don't have healthcare. Fuck them. We should be just pushing them out the door. Let them die.
I've often asked for people who like are big advocates of capitalism. I was like, can you show me a purely capitalistic country? One.
Oh, like
one purely capitalistic country that doesn't involve any kind of what you would call socialism or anything like that. Show me one. There isn't.
Could you imagine a like purely open free market, laissez-faire to the fucking 100%?
It would last for about like, I don't know, 45 days.
And then everybody else would have already died, and then like some people would get rich, but then the country's over because all the other people died. There's no middle class.
It's that whole like unbarred free market system is so terrifying because I mean look what the insurance companies were starting to do, the health insurance companies, denying claims that would cost them money. My dad had home insurance with State Farm for years and years and years, and because after Katrina, they were afraid of having to pay out hurricane shit, and he never missed a payment or anything. Never had a claim, and they dropped him because they're like too high risk. And by the way, that was several years ago, and we haven't had a bad hurricane since. So that's years worth of fucking money they could have made if they had just not been such greedy fucks. They could have actually made some money if they'd stood up and done the business they're supposed to. You're supposed to, as an insurance company, fucking insure people, not say, oh, well, we're here to make the most profit possible, which includes denying your claims and dropping you altogether if we think you're too much of a risk. Instead of just saying, hey, you're in a high-risk area, we're going to offer you the same insurance at a higher rate because you are in a high-risk area. That at least is an option. They could say, no, it's too much money, I'll go somewhere else. But they just said, nope, nothing, drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's just one example of that. That's just one example for like home insurance, let alone health insurance, let alone all the regulations that have to happen in the marketplace so that we don't go back to like a damn near slave type system where people are like having to fight each other to work for like 50 cents a fucking hour, which is what a lot of these people want.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying if someone's willing to work for $5 an hour, why shouldn't they be? They should be able to. That's the free market system because minimum wage is a bad thing. Well, if that's the case, then anyone that's really desperate will outbid anyone the fuck else, and obviously the employer's going to go with them. Especially if you get rid of all the regulations like hiring restrictions and having to like put in all the paperwork,
which is what else they want to do.
Yeah, they want to get rid of all that shit. They want to be, if you're a 12-year-old and you say I'll work for $2 an hour, they're like, you're hired. You get in that coal mine right there. He's like, do I get any like safety equipment? Nope. What you're wearing is fine.
We don't believe in socialism.
Yeah, exactly. What are you, a commie?
Yeah. What do you like? There's just pictures. I see like in my head this dystopian future where there's just posters of Ronald Reagan in all the break rooms, and they just kind of have that kind of mindset about it.
Well, I mean, look. At the same time, there is over-regulating. Like what's his stupid face in New York talking about only 16-ounce fucking sodas. And shit like that, that's over-regulating, and I don't agree with that. There is a balance. That's why everything isn't black and white, and that's not just a racial thing. I mean, like everything's not just. Life
happens in the gray area.
Yeah, exactly, and there has to be some give and take. You enslave and shit upon an entire group of people, and then get upset when there's a class offered where people, if they want, can learn about it, and you say that's breaking down the fabric of America. Go fuck yourself, you piece of stupid shit.
Yeah, this is the no apologies, TJ. No apologies. I will not apologize for being born in the best God-blessed nation on the planet.
I will not like a man's. Women.
I ain't gonna carry no purse.
I will not wear makeup. All right. I do want to hear him out because he's so stupid.
A 5,000-year leap would be mandatory reading to teach students that mankind really did not advance very far until biblical principles were nationalized with the founding of the United States.
All right, that's about all I need.
Yeah. And this guy, by the way, we might end up seeing him again later, TJ, because this guy has an entire channel full of these.
Oh yeah, I know. I've covered Wild Bill in the past, and I know that the what are they, the inebriated poor people, they also cover him, but he is highly entertaining and highly stupid and perfect for shows like this. But we digress. What do you think? Time for a Thug Life?
Yeah, let's do a Thug Life, man. I need to take a leak.
All right, let's do a Thug Life and then possibly a break afterwards. Possibly not. We'll see how it goes. All right, enjoy. This is a fun one. It starts off really good with a classic that many of you will know. So enjoy.
Now I'ma pass the mic to my lovely wife. She's a fly MC and the light of my life. So to bust a rhyme without further ado, take it away, Mary Sue.
Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Right about now, NWA court is in full effect. Judge Dre residing. In the case of NWA versus the police department.
Fucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
Yeah. You know who's back up in this motherfucker.
True player. To the honeys getting money, playing fellas like dummies. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Come on. Hot, sicker than your average. Pop a twist cabbage off instinct. Niggas don't think shit.
Anna ate all your Halloween candy yesterday. You want to call her? She's at school. I can't call her. She's at school. What do you want me to tell her? She can't bring it to you. It's gone. She ate it.
I'm fed up with that bullshit. I'm fed up with that bullshit. I'm fed up with that bullshit. I'm fed up. So I've got my trusty stopwatch, and here they come down the hill. It looks like Ruben is in the lead, and here comes Al.
Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
That was a bad idea.
I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna fuck with me. Got the police watching at me, but they can't do nothing to the G.
Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Our philosophy at New Scientist is this. Science is interesting, and if you don't agree, you can fuck off.
Can't none of y'all niggas fuck with none of these niggas. These triggers, we killers, sitting on the porch in between legs with a bitch French braid in my head. Near, I leave them in till they mad it. Flow arm tatted. What's the connection, bitch? You looking at it? It don't stop. I hit smoke licks, then it takes to get.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga plays his cards right. A real gangster ass nigga never runs his fucking mouth, cause real gangster ass niggas don't start fights.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. West side, bad boy killers. You know who the realest is, niggas. We bringin' to. First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. West side, when we ride, come equipped with game.
And sometimes 2 individual time trials. This year, all figures.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty, 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 trying to catch me riding dirty.
All right, so there's the latest Thug Life. For those of you that stuck around for the end of the last show, you got to see that, and for those of you that stick around at the end of this show, you get to see the one featured first in the next goddamn podcast. But we do have one that you'll only see in this episode lined up next. But before we get to it, let's hit some more of this hard-hitting shit, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's cover one more or maybe 2 more videos, and then we'll see if our interviewee is ready. They've been begging to come on, so hopefully when I contact them, they'll be ready. Here's one that you sent me, Drew.
Oh, God. It's not my fault.
It is totally Drew's fault, and you can all thank Drew for this one.
Boys and girls, the Lord Jesus Christ is the one who gives us new life, and he's doing a new thing for us.
You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Yo, who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. My God is doing a brand new thing. Well, since time began, he remains the same. Faithful, I'm ready to his word and silent. I go to stone unstirred. I look down through the ages and you will find God doesn't change, but he knows the time. From harp, piano, to song to rap, you know. God's with us, so we cannot lack us. So God is doing a new thing in our lives. So we're doing a new thing through Jesus Christ. God doing a new thing.
Through Jesus Christ.
The best part's where he dances and he's like losing his air, right?
He's still way better than that guy that was on that local news or whatever, the freestyle guy. And they're like, okay, go ahead. He's like,
oh, God.
He's like, God, this is live, isn't it?
You want to just read from your book?
Yeah, he's like, yes, I do. God, that was classic.
And this kid like trips over his feet, dude. This is so good.
Well, thank you, Drew. Thank you so much.
To our music, we're doing a new thing so he can use it. God's using this music and we're coming strong. Michael Clancy's y'all singing this song to make you think twice about the way that you live, and that you know Christ is the one who will give peace in your heart. A new start, calling on the Lord and he'll do his part. A brand new thing to your raggedy walk. He might just match it up to that big old talk. God is doing a new thing in our lives. So we're doing a new thing through Jesus Christ. God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. That poor kid. You know, because this is so fucking 90s. You know that kid's looking back on this now because it's like all over YouTube, he's like, son of a bitch. This little weak ass early 90s purple
nobody
Jesus
could
is
tell.
Lord shirt.
Hopefully, like if his buddy was like, "Have you seen this?" and he shows it to him, he'd be like, "Oh, that's hilarious, man. I have no clue who that kid is."
Like immediately goes home and kills himself because it's viral on YouTube.
Or burns his fucking parachute pants. What the fuck is he wearing? Like,
dude, you know that. You lived through the 90s, bro. Those
I know.
horrible fucking pants.
Yeah, but hold on. Where's a good shot of those pants, man?
Probably where he's doing that skip dance.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like going through the whole thing.
We're doing a new thing so he can use it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it sounds like G-Man.
It kind of does, man. And I love that he, I think he starts out kind of right, but eventually, like, everything he does is like, there's just like a beat going off in the back, and it's like not even close.
Oh,
just like G-Man,
God.
like that first one that G-Man did.
Yeah. Ow, 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 ow.
I think we ought to send this to G-Man. I think
We
he'd
ought
appreciate
to.
it.
He would probably be like, "Oh man, I'm gonna send this kid a letter. You're doing great, man. For a white kid, you're awesome."
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hit me. You know he's doing it. Who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Yo, who's doing it? God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. God is doing a new thing. You know he's doing it. Do it. God is doing a new thing. Like an MC, I'm here to boast. I rap about Christ, yo, here's a dope. So loud and proud of the God I serve. Try to say you win a hoe. You got nerve. Christ is the reason for my gold Clancy's. He's a focus of a daily walk, y'all. Without him, he ain't not but name. But through God, we're doing brand new things. God is doing a new thing in our lives, so.
Shit is just all over. Oh my God.
Poor kid, man. I mean, like, look in the beginning, at the very beginning, look at this crazy lady.
Yeah.
If
Dude,
that's who's
so 90s. Remember when they all dressed like that?
No, that's not even 90s. That's like late 60s or late 50s.
No,
like that's
well,
like creepy.
in my church was ultra conservative. That's how
like
they all dressed.
Wizard of Oz shit, man. Like she looks like the Wicked Witch with like a doily wrapped around her neck. Oh my God. And if someone like that is introducing you with balloon backgrounds and shit like that, and look, oh my God, look at the like on the background testimony time with Jesus is Lord kid. Here, wear this purple shirt, kid, and then dance around with this microphone to a fucking totally generic don't do do do.
Somebody asked if this was you when you were a kid.
It was. I had to shave before this and take off my sunglasses.
Yeah, this would have been TJ, but TJ would have been like 2 foot taller than this.
I didn't have to change my shirt though. Like I was already wearing that. So
that shirt's legit as fuck.
I might have some of those made just for my patrons. Okay, thanks, Drew. Thanks so much for that one.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're gonna move on now. Here's a fun one.
We have a good friend that was running for governor here in the U.S. in Kansas, and God told you to go in and do something.
Listen, he called during the head of the year. That's what we're talking about here, when the shift was occurring. And when he called, the minute I hung up from the phone, I said, I have to go there before that election, because lots of accusations were coming in, lots of confusion, lots of misinterpretations. And the Lord said, if you'll go there and draw my people together in that state and worship, and it's a state we all have history in. It's Kansas. Talk about the whirlwind state. It's known. And it was Kansas, and he said, if you'll go there and draw my people together and worship, I will shift the environment of that entire election. I'm going to tell you, there was no way. Matter of fact, it's called the Lazarus election now.
Oh, wow.
Because there was no way. They had assumed that thing was dead.
Wow.
And that night of worship, the prophetic that came down from heaven shifted and turned around. Your word. Turned around that whole situation into a triumph like never before.
So he's talking about an election. where in the whirlwind state. And like how his prayer rally got them elected, and it was that whole thing was dead in the water until he prayed a bunch about it, and then bam, Jesus came through and voted 10,000 times.
Yeah, we know how prayer rallies work.
Well, we know how voting works. You see, voting works by, like, if you pray real hard, it changes election result. It's not the people that actually go and vote and who they vote for. That's not how it works. People get elected by praying real hard that they get elected.
It's true, man.
Yeah, well, duh. You live in Texas. You should know all about that with your Rick Perry.
We don't have Rick Perry anymore. Thank you.
Whatever.
You do still have Rick Scott, and we just have like Rick Perry's dumb brother Greg Abbott. It's like the same fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed that Rick Scott won again. I knew.
Dude, I was watching some videos on that guy last night. Your guy Rick Scott. That dude is fucking weird looking.
A weird creep, liar, like slimy sack of shit that Florida elected to put in charge of their government. A few short years after he was like fired from as CEO for defrauding that government for fucking like Medicare and Medicaid and shit like that. He's got those cold, dead shark eyes, is what he has, and that's the creepy thing about him.
That is that is just creepy as fuck. Dude. Like really, like just.
I'm gonna pray real hard that an actual liberal gets elected. We'll see how that works for me. We'll see if God is
one thing
is
some of your Rick Scott mojo carry it over here to Texas because we're about to start drug testing our welfare recipients.
Oh, dude, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be like, oh yeah, everybody's been so happy about it. Fuck yeah, we're gonna be testing those fucking sons of bitches living off the fucking government.
I want to play that Ben Carson clip one more time. Let's listen to Ben Carson talking to Chris Cuomo on CNN this morning, and he says emphatically, homosexuality is a choice. Now, I wonder, I mean, to me, this is now going to be kind of a benchmark for the other Republican candidates because they're going to be asked the Ben Carson question. I mean, and I hope they are asked this question. I hope they ask Jeb Bush this question. I hope they ask Rick Perry this question. I hope they ask Rand Paul this question. I hope they ask Mike Huckabee this question. I hope that they ask Scott Walker this question.
And honestly, what do you think Huckabee's answer would be if you asked him if homosexuality is a choice or not? Because that's what he's referring to.
Well, I think if you ask any of them, they're going to say no, it's not. But they're not going to. They're not going to agree. They're going to be like, well, I disagree with how Carson went about saying it, you know. But they're gonna pussyfoot their way around to saying the exact same fucking thing.
Like, I can understand being a gay conservative, but not a gay Republican. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like a black conservative, fine, but black Republican, no.
Yeah, there was that thing where David Silverman was at CPAC, and he was talking about, he's like, a lot of atheists like to vote Republican, and they couldn't understand that. But dude, it's just because you're an atheist, just because you're a black, just because you're gay or something like that doesn't mean you don't like the the small government, less regulation, like those kind of things and stuff.
Well, what if you changed the wording and instead of choice you said it was a preference? So what if someone's preference is, my preference is metal, my preference is this or that or the other, and who cares what their sexual preference is? I don't see why it matters so much to them, and I think it's just them trying to protect the last bastions of bigotry that they have. They we used to be able to hate on a lot of people, and then they took away, we couldn't hate on Indian no more, and then black people, and then fucking now they're trying to say we can't hate queers. Come on, man, we got to be able to hate somebody and deny somebody some kind of rights in the name of God and Jesus.
Yeah, in the name of Jesus, let's not people rights. No, I've said that for a long time, man. The fact this whole thing, if it's a choice or not, I don't think it is. But let's say it is a choice. Who gives a shit? That doesn't mean people don't still deserve equal fucking rights.
In this land of freedom,
it's a choice to be a Christian.
They're all saying they're all about freedom, free markets, free, and then but you can't choose to get gay married. That's not a choice you're allowed to make as an American adult. You can't choose. I'm going to make that decision for you. But then, if you try and make decisions for Christianity, if I try to push Christianity and you decided against it, then you're infringing upon my rights. However, I'm not infringing upon your rights because it's my freedom of religion that allows me to deny you your rights. You see, that's how this works. It's complete fucking bullshit and insanity, and the mental backflips you have to do, and like the ignoring of the major message and the focusing on tiny little portions that you have to do. It must be exhausting. That's why this motherfucker is so gray-haired and exhausted. It's because those gymnastics that you have to do in your mind to get away with trying
they wear your brain out and they age you
badly. Oh.
What would do you think if they asked Mitt Romney or excuse me Huckabee and all these people? Do you think, like I do, that they would just find a little way to get around it?
I don't know. Not Huckabee. Huckabee.
Well, I think they would all come out and say, no, I think being gay is a choice, and or whatever, and they'll always do that same thing of like, oh, civil unions, yeah, have that, but don't you touch my marriage? I think it'll go like that.
Well. All right, this is a 4 video, so I'm going to cut this one short. It's just too much Fischer. It's going to take up too much time. So
too much Fischer.
Now, here is the problem I have with the way the left is approaching this. We know that war is a nasty business. But the Bible, it's important to understand, is not an anti-war document. Christianity is not a pacifist religion. In fact, if you go to Exodus 15:3, you will find that the Lord there is described as a man of war. That's Yahweh, the God that we served, is described in Exodus 15 as a man of war. Now, we often think of gentle Jesus, meek and mild, but let's not forget, according to Romans 19:15, when he comes back, or 19:13, when Christ comes back, he will be riding a white horse and wearing his own robe dipped in blood. That is a robe that is worn by a warrior who is inflicting casualties on the foe. So this is Jesus, gentle Jesus, meek and mild. When he comes back, his robe is going to be dipped in blood because he too is a warrior.
Is he making our case for us?
He's basically saying that, and that was in defense of torture. That was in defense of torture that he was saying. Jesus, basically, we are. God likes war. And Jesus dips his fucking clothes in blood, man. He's hardcore. You don't get it. Like, if you imagine Brian Fisher in charge of everything, how wrecked everything would be if someone like Brian Fisher was actually, like, in total control.
I think the scariest thing about that is the Fisher. These are the guys that like want to bring on the end of the world. So like everything that they think needs to happen. Okay, walls of fire from nuclear weapons and shit like that. They'll do it, yeah, because Jesus, he's gonna come back.
I'm getting a little bit of a feedback buzz. Is anyone else hearing that? It might just be me.
I'm hearing it very light. And yes, Insomniac. I think Drew is metal Jesus. Yes. I like to think of myself as such. TJ is my disciple.
I think it might be, I don't know, it might be my headphones. I'm not sure. Anyway, all right. We'll move on here. You know what?
More Fisher?
No, let's just skip the Fisher shit. We'll move on to who we were talking about earlier.
They latch on to something you say, and they say, see there, man, that guy, he wants to push his Christianity on everybody. Well, no, we're going to have, to vote, you're going to have to prove have a certificate of baptism.
Right.
So how do you handle that? You've handled that for a long time, but how do you deal with that?
Well, Tim, first of all, we have to understand we're never going to be fully understood by people on the secular left. Number one, they don't want to understand us. They want to ridicule us. They want to hold us in contempt. They want to hold us up to scorn. And so they're going to, because we represent a direct threat to their worldview. If there really is an alternative to the secularist mind, and we can articulate it, defend it, and do it in a way that even can be intellectually defensible, then that's a direct threat to their worldview, which is, and this is a chapter in the book, that their version of diversity is really uniformity. So they don't want diversity. They don't want a different point of view. They want everyone to agree with their point of view. A second reason for this, and by the way, let me just mention that every time I come on this radio show, As you know, your show is monitored by the secular left. They listen to every word that is uttered on AFA.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right,
I know
yeah.
that.
That's
You know that,
tongue-in-cheek.
too. Because every time I'm on this show, there is something I say that will just end up getting picked up by the secularists, and they'll blow it up and it'll go viral. So let me go ahead and give them one, just so they'll have something that they can write down and Twitter out right now. The second reason that a lot of this reaction comes against believers is because of the New Testament principle of don't cast your pearls before the swine. Now, I'm going to let them look that up, and they'll get the context. They won't use the context.
Right.
They won't understand the context. But it's a metaphorical device that Jesus used to explain why people can't see the obvious. And the point is that for many of us, we are accused of wanting to impose our religious values on someone else. The fact is, we just don't want someone's secular values imposed upon us.
There you have it.
Jesus.
It's not that he's trying to impose his religious values on you. It's that you're trying to impose your secular values on him.
I'm trying to understand how you could get to the point where that could possibly make sense to you. That's you have to. I think the biggest problem is like having a complete lack of understanding about what secularism is.
Oh,
it's not atheism.
That's a start, and then you add a lot of Chick-fil-A, a lot.
And some God, a little bit of guts, maybe some grits, possibly some gravy.
Some gourd. A little bit of gourd.
Go work on a biscuit.
God, he's Huckabee Hound.
And by the way, for Huckabee, just because he's like, they're monitoring this AFA. Well, no one's monitoring it. Like, we're not going to shut you down for saying stupid shit. But yeah, we're going to make fun of you when you say stupid shit. Yeah.
But I mean, and then he's like, well, I'll give him something to work with. Well, yeah. And then you said something incredibly stupid. Yeah, we're going to work with that dipshit. Yeah. God, what a fucking moron. All right. Gone. Here's a fun one.
Dr. Ken Hovind is facing a trial for what they called mail fraud, but he's being tried by a jury of his peers. I began to think about that when Dr. Hovind was in trial, and I was sitting in there and I was looking at the jury box and viewing the jurors. I thought, wow, is that really a jury of his peers? See, there was a time in America when most of us shared the same set of values. America wasn't as diverse and it wasn't as kind of multicultural, and if I dare say it, kind of messed up the way it is today, that you could put somebody in the jury box and one of your peers was somebody who really, for the most part, was your neighbor. There's that way it was intended to be somebody who thought like you and acted like you.
What is he saying, TJ?
He's saying that I guess Ken Hovind should be tried by a jury of 12 creationists that love Kent Hovind, because that would be his peers. Because your peers, by the way, are not, I guess, not allowed to disagree with you.
Yeah, because for instance, if you're a murderer, I guess we need to find 12 people to sit in the booth that are okay with fucking murder.
Oh, he gets towards something like that at the end here. Hold on.
Folks, we are in a far different world today. And as I was witnessing the selection of the jury and the questions that they were asking the jury, it came to me, maybe they ought to ask the jury this question. Do you believe in evolution?
That's the question you should ask a jury. Do you believe in evolution?
And by the way, just to remind everybody, in case some people don't know, anything Hovind will be going to court for is not because he believes in creationism or some shit like this. It has nothing to do with evolution, creationism, or any of that. It's fucking tax evasion. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
And actually what the trial he's talking about here is about the mail fraud that he was doing from jail. So they're looking at extending his fucking sentence.
But I think maybe one of the angles the coach is doing here is kind of he can't say it because he knows it's way wrong. But he's trying to, I guess, maybe kind of hinting at, like maybe Hovind is in jail because he's a creationist.
Yeah, that's what they're hinting at because the people that put him away believe in evolution.
Yeah, that's why we need to get them out of that
jury. That's why you got to ask the jury, do you believe in evolution? As if like someone saying yes to that question would disqualify them as a juror. Can you imagine? And then they go on to put forward evidence as if someone denying evolution is a good sign that they believe in evidence.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if I had a juror and I asked them if they believe in evolution, if they said no, I probably would want them out because I'm like, oh, okay, you know. But if they said yes, I was like, okay, all right, fine. This is like a normal person. Now we can go from here, you know.
All right, let's finish this shit.
Go ahead.
Or do you believe that you were created in the image of God? Because, folks, I think that's a very important issue in this trial of Dr. Dino. Wouldn't a jury of Kent Hovind's peers be those who believe the same way that he does? When Kent Hovind goes on trial and the jury of his peers are a group of people who do not believe like he does, or maybe one of the jurors thinks that anybody who believes in creation is a nut, does that impact the trial? Wouldn't it be germane that if you put Kent Hovind on trial, that you would have people on the trial who think like he thinks so that they could, in fact, judge the merits of the case rather than their own biases about, you know, creationism or the Bible or Christians or whatever? It would be like putting a drug dealer on trial. And when the drug dealer's on trial, you find somebody on the jury who's totally 100% against any type of drugs and thinks drug dealers should be prosecuted and thrown in jail. That would not be a jury of peers of that drug dealer.
So he's
oh my God!
So he's basically saying find a bunch of crackheads if you want to convict a crackhead.
Yeah, so we need to have a bunch of like drug users or maybe drug dealers themselves over there deciding whether or not the drug dealer did anything illegal or not.
I wouldn't be surprised if he thought peers just meant like your direct friends. Like find 12 of your closest friends, put them in the jury box and see if they convict you. Because that's what's going to help. That's about the only thing that'll help fucking Kent Hovind. Oh, what a fucking complete moron.
Jesus, I mean, it's like not even like close to making sense. Like, none of it makes any sense.
He's a special kind of dumb.
Oh, he is.
All right, next. Oh, boy. I'm actually about to upload a video that deals with this, either after the show tonight or tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. But this one's fun.
We're the only nation established on the Bible. And we're the sole superpower. Really, if you were to say what country of the world represents the world today, it has to be the United States of America, especially from a biblical perspective. So when the United States...
especially from a biblical perspective. Like, what?
Dude, I'm sorry, but 5 seconds into him talking, he was already wrong on like the first 2 points that he made.
Here, we'll start from the beginning just so we can all be clear on that.
We're the only nation established on the Bible.
Wrong.
Yeah.
And we're the sole superpower. Really, if you were to say what country of the world represents the world today, it has to be the United States of America.
That was kind of iffy. That was kind of iffy.
Still, that's so like, but the reason he gives behind it,
especially from a biblical perspective.
Yeah.
So that makes it wrong. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, there's another portion to this. This portion is not covered in the video that I will upload. It's a different portion. But I still wanted to cover this because I wanted your input. Because this guy is a special kind of stupid. Scott Lively. Well, I guess I'll just let him speak for himself.
So when the United States, but in its official policy, establishes homosexual sodomy as a basis for marriage under the Constitution, that's a whole new ballgame. And I'm predicting that we're going to see some kind of calamity and judgment that's going to occur, even if it isn't end times, context. Even if it's just the United States, we're going to suffer the consequences of this. There's going to be, and we're going to see a rapid meltdown of the infrastructure of the country, especially anything related to the Christian infrastructure of America. That when they pass this, if God doesn't intervene, they're going to come out of the gate. The entire leftist bloc is going to declare complete victory for their entire agenda, and they're going to shift to the last part of their stage of their conquest, which is punishing dissenters.
Well, we're part of that leftist elite, TJ. What are we gonna do? God intervenes. Stops
like,
our plans.
It's so ironic because he's punishing dissenters of what he believes already, and then to say that like we're not going to let you do that anymore, he thinks you're punishing him, and that we're not allowing you to run other people's lives and make decisions for them. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants your dipshit in charge of their fucking lives or their bedrooms or their personal choices or preferences. If we all had to fucking listen to you, we'd all listen to like gospel and shit like that, or some who knows what the fuck this weirdo listens to.
Like that horrible Southern gospel.
Oh God!
That shit that only comes on like certain AM channels.
Kind of like, but what was the video we did with the mime? Okay. Withholding nothing. Withholding
and that's all he does the whole video is like throws his arms out.
Jesus. Can't stand shit like that, man. Really can't stand it.
But that's what he's saying, TJ. Eventually, it's going to get so bad because we're helping oppressed minorities gain rights. That's what we're talking about here. We're helping oppressed minorities get equal rights that they're guaranteed by the fucking law. So when that happens, apparently that's going to piss God off so much, he's going to come down here. He didn't come down here for the Holocaust. He didn't come down here for the genocides and fucking Rwanda and shit like that. He doesn't come down here for all the shit that still goes on. He's going to come down here because we gave gays the equality they were guaranteed under the law, TJ. You think about that.
Unacceptable. All right.
He's got to draw the line somewhere, goddamn.
I think it's time for the next Thug Life. What do you think?
Let's do it, man. I need a drink.
All right, here we go. Enjoy, guys. Oh, and it starts off with cock versus pussy.
Добрый день. Представьтесь, пожалуйста.
Борис.
Да, пожалуйста, продемонстрируйте ваше мастерство, ваше умение.
Ну, я попробую что-нибудь сделать.
Спасибо.
Hold up. Hey, for my niggas who be thinking we soft, we don't play. We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off. Hold up. Hey, for my niggas who be acting too bold, take a seat. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey, smoke weed every day. Hold up. Smoke weed every day. Hold up.
Смотри, водитель.
Okay, this is a human to cat translator. Here we go.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police.
I won't deny it, I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna fuck with me. Got the police busting at me. to it. Do your thing like it ain't nothing to it. Shake that ass, girl. Little mama, show me how you move it. Go ahead, put your back into it.
Where's your license? What the hell? Hey. What about him? Well, he didn't hit the highway. Face driving! Ow! 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 You got $100 bill, get your hands up! You got a $50 bill, get your hands up!
Are you serious?
أمل البلد وأمل الطلبة طبعا. البلد دلوقتي لسه برضه حالة مش مستقرة فيها. الحالة دلوقتي مش مستقرة في البلد. هنضطر بس نأجل الأجازة. سلام عليكم.
Do it. Don't be a pussy. I can appreciate that.
I'm Sabrina Rodriguez. We're in Lodi today, and I am being joined right now by Mickey the Baboon and
Some snitches. Chillin' in my beamer, listening to ether, bumping through the speakers. Know I got the heaters.
Goddamn baboons feeling up reporters.
That's awesome. Somebody get that baboon a beer.
For real, get that reporter a roofie. Next thing you know, you're gonna wake up next to a baboon with that smile, man. He had that wicked, nasty smile. Like, try and get my hand off this bitch's tit.
Oh yeah, I was just I thought that last one, the one before the last one, was really good. When black cops show up to white people breaking the law, they're like, "Hey,
high five!"
Hey, yeah, high five. Yeah,
they don't give a shit. Seriously, I think it was just tailgating though. Anyway, it looked like so. Whatever. Honestly, the cops should have better shit to do.
And those cops probably did.
Yeah,
they were like, hey.
Exactly. They're like, fuck it, high five. But
well, you know, the message I took from that, TJ, is we need more black cops.
Things would probably be a lot cooler. All right, I think it's time. I think our interviewee is ready. I said 11 o'clock Eastern, and it's 11:01, so I think it's ready. Let me just put this on hold for 1 second, guys, and we'll go from there. And then after this interview, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back with more of the goddamn podcast. Enjoy. Just give me 1 second to set this up. All right, let's see. Sarah, are you with us?
I certainly am.
It's nice to have you on, Sarah. Everybody in the chat should give a big thumbs up to the former governor of Alaska, Miss Sarah Palin.
That's right. And, you know, it must be an honor for you to go from something shitty like potential vice president of the United States, to being on the goddamn podcast. Isn't that right, Sarah?
It certainly is. Thank you so much.
Well, don't thank us too much just yet, because we've got some tough questions for you.
Oh, that's right, Sarah. I mean, because this is the goddamn podcast. We don't fuck around. None of that pansy-ass softball CPAC bullshit. We don't fuck around here. We keep it real.
That's right, and none of that Bill O'Reilly bullshit either.
That's fine.
Okay, Sarah, so now you know how things are going to go, so let's go ahead and kick this off. Our viewers aren't very big fans of yours, so why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself, like where you're from?
America.
Well, no shit, Sarah. I mean, but where in America?
In Wasilla.
Whereabouts is Wasilla?
Southeast Alaska.
Man, that sounds like a really shitty place to live.
It certainly is.
So, Sarah, why do you think people should care enough to waste a vote on you?
I'm a Washington outsider.
And why is that important?
We need someone like that in Washington.
Well, I'd say we need someone who isn't so incompetent that they have to write speech messages on their hand.
Well, I would argue with the whole premise of that.
Argue with what premise? You wrote about tax reform on your hand during a speech to a crowd of people bitching about taxes. It shouldn't have been that hard to remember.
Everybody's got issues. Everybody's got burdens.
Yeah, but it doesn't help to be a total fucking idiot, does it?
That question is kind of irrelevant.
So, Sarah.
Hi.
Settle down, Sarah. Christ, do you have Tourette's?
Senator McCain's wrong on that issue.
Is it Tourette's, or are you just fucking retarded?
I'm confident in that.
Confident in what? That you're retarded? Well, we are too, Sarah.
Do you want to talk about it some more, Sarah?
I do not.
Okay. What can you tell us about this bridge to nowhere?
The bridge to nowhere.
Right. Not can you say it. What can you tell us about it?
That is not something that personally I support.
But I could have sworn that at one time you did support it. So why don't you support it now?
But we're going to have to pay for it.
But you do realize that you did support it before, right?
It has always been an embarrassment.
But it's an embarrassment that you fully supported, correct?
And you're right.
So far we've covered that you either have Tourette's and or retardation, and that you supported the bridge to nowhere in the state you were governor of. Are you sure you want to keep talking to us, Sarah?
Yeah.
Well, tell us something about you that maybe we don't already know.
I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. I believe strongly in our Second Amendment rights.
Well, Sarah, I'm sure most of us figured that out already. Why don't you? Why do you think Americans need more guns?
People are fearful of losing their homes.
So, without a gun, you might lose your house.
And the people of my state who rely on guns for not just self-protection, people are fearful.
You really are crazy as shit, Sarah.
There's no doubt in anybody's mind now across America.
So what did you do for Alaska that would make you a good choice for president?
Let me tell you what I did here in the city of Wasilla. Our economy is weak right now.
You do know that that's not something to brag about, right?
Is everyone in your state as dumb of a fuck as you?
It's a part of the culture here in Alaska. I've just grown up with that.
Right. What are you really running for, Sarah? I mean, what are you really after?
Americans' pocketbooks.
So you just like to take from people?
Yes. And spend other people's money.
So, Sarah, what do you think about Russia?
Destroy it.
Well, wait a goddamn minute, Sarah. You can't just destroy an entire country.
Yeah, did John McCain support this?
Yes. And that's what I joined him in fighting.
But you can't just destroy an entire country, you crazy bitch.
That's my personal opinion on this, Charlie.
My name is TJ, not Charlie.
Why do you like John McCain so much? I mean, he seems like he's just a basic stooge.
He's been on the other side of what I believe the majority of Americans want.
But isn't that a bad thing, Sarah?
And we are mavericks.
Well, is that why you wanted to be his vice president?
What is it exactly that the VP does?
So, wait a minute. You're telling me that you ran for one of the highest offices in the goddamn country and you don't even know what the vice president does?
And I want a sports arena also.
God damn, you're a fucking idiot.
A $13 million sports arena that we bonded for. You know, when you're running for office, your life's an open book, and you do owe it to Americans.
What do you think John McCain would say about your answers to our questions in this interview?
She handled those well.
You really are possibly the dumbest human being I've ever spoken with, sir. I can't believe there are people out there who actually support your political ambitions.
But see, we put government on the side of the people by asking them if that's what they wanted. It was a question on the ballot.
And hopefully any sane people out there will say this isn't what they want. America is fucked up enough without adding Sarah fucking Palin to its list of mistakes.
Yeah. TJ, let's flush this turd.
Sarah, it's been an honor for you, I'm sure, but I think we're done with you. Any last words of wisdom?
Do you think that all of that gun violence, though, is caused by people pulling a trigger?
Oh, my God.
Okay, Sarah, it's time to go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, fuck off, Sarah.
Eat shit, Sarah.
What a stupid bitch. All right, we continue. We're going to clean up the scraps here. The first of those scraps being something. I don't know. Do you want it?
Don't do this.
Do you want
You're
it?
Teasing again.
Do you want it?
You just put the tip of it in like, no.
Do you want it?
Oh,
if you want it, then take it. Take it.
Are you ready? You want something? Take it! That's yours tonight. You want it? You want it? Take it! You want it tonight? Take it! The power of the Holy Ghost! Take it! Oh, take it! Take it! Take it! Of the power of the Holy Ghost! The anointing of the Holy Ghost! You want it? You want it? Take it! That's the power of the Holy Ghost! You want it tonight? You want it? Take it! That's the power of the Holy Ghost! Oh, you want something? You ready for something? You ready for something? Take it! That's the power of the Holy Ghost!
That's the power of the Holy Ghost. Take it!
He's just leveling the place. I need to make another one of those little Street Fighter things with this guy.
Did my tease make a little more sense after that?
It did.
Do you want it? Do you want it? Take it! Take it! That's the power of the Holy Ghost. That's the power of the Holy Ghost. He drops T's like Live Life drops R's. You know?
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna edit that out, Live Life.
Jesus.
Poor guy.
Oh, man, this guy has the Americans beat. Like the Americans are, was it Benny Hinn? He hits him with the jacket, right? Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's hitting him with the jacket. This guy is like, oh, upper deck, motherfuckers. That's right, man. Take it.
Take it. That's the power of the Holy Ghost.
Broken.
Hadouken. Tiger uppercut. Oh God, need some Chun-Li like shit, like da-da-da-da. Oh shit! All right.
Damn, he like wiped out his entire congregation.
Take it. That's what you went. That's half the congregation just while they're sitting at home.
Yeah, need more mana.
The anointing of the Holy Ghost! The anointing of the Holy Ghost! The anointing of the Holy Ghost! Ah, yeah!
And that's why people become racist. They're like, wait a second. I mean, it gives, I don't know. So they're just being themselves or whatever, but it does give a little bit of firepower to people that are like, look at these people. I mean, it's given us firepower too, but for not for anything.
Not for racist reasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're from Texas, so.
Oh, well, the thing is, I'm from Texas, and I grew up in a church like this where they were
So
doing.
how many slaves do you have?
Oh, none anymore. That fucking Abraham goddamn Lincoln.
Damn you, Lincoln!
We still ain't got over it, TJ, tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth, we still suffering. He's like, there's a cotton field behind my house, ain't been picked for goddamn since about 18...
Carnation, I can't even recollect.
Can't even recollect. It's been at least a century. Take it. All right, we're done with this guy. Good stuff, though.
I will tell you, as much as the American, like the African American stuff is, the shit that's like in Africa now where they're doing that stuff is even crazier. You see some of those where it's like straight out of Africa and they're doing like the hands-on shit.
Oh,
People
yeah.
like, yeah,
yeah.
dude, this is, like,
I've
nutty.
seen people run around or on their hands and knees like, barking like dogs. I mean, they're. What are you gonna do? I mean, at least with the Muslims, they're like doing some head bobbing and running in circles. Like they're getting some exercise at least, you know.
I guess you run around on your hands and knees like, barking like a dog. I guess.
Jesus, at that point,
it might be physically healthy, but it's definitely not mentally healthy.
Just have some sex at that point. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ.
That's another thing. Isn't like masturbation like death-worthy in some of these places?
You repressed fucks. Just Jesus. All right, moving on. I'm trying to decide.
We digress a lot. Don't we?
Oh yeah, that's kind of the goddamn point, though. All right. I've got a couple lined up, and I know you're not terribly excited about them, but here we go.
You're serious about running for president. Do you come on the show?
I think all of my advisors say no.
Yes, but I say yes.
I mean, as someone who's on the show, say absolutely you should. And I think if you can get this audience behind you, you have a strong
That's why you
chance
have
to
to
make
say
it.
yes. Say yes.
I don't think you have a chance without it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, no
either.
one's ever done it. Right?
They're saying, look, if you want to win, you got to come on the show. And the dude was like, well, none of the presidential candidates have ever come on our show, ever. And somehow they still managed to, like, you know, either win a primary or whatever. And Glenn Beck is just so full of himself, and he's so convinced that he has so many people listening to him that just do everything. Because he's surrounded by, like, yes men. So he's convinced that he's really got it all figured out.
Well, he has the double thing going. He's got all the people that love him and listen to him. At the same time, he's like the oddball, you know. He's like that other guy where it's like, oh, everybody else hates me, you know. It's like the thing Fox does with we hate the mainstream media, but by the way, let me boast about how fucking popular we are.
Oh yeah, Bill O'Reilly, #1 at lying about covering wars.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Glenn Beck does that, and he does that little persecution complex.
Constantly, they're coming after him. You didn't know that, Drew? They're coming.
Well, nobody running for president, you know, coming on my show and stuff like that. But it's the same thing.
I have to say that with the audience we have, I don't think that anyone can be president at all. Doesn't matter what party they're in or whatever, without being on the goddamn podcast.
I would say so.
Yeah, I mean,
we just had a potential vice president.
Well, she might run, and now that she's been on our show, she has a chance.
Yeah, she has a better chance now. I think she might have changed some of the viewers' minds in our chat.
She really did. Her campaign is, catching its, what's the word, momentum, getting its feet underneath it, learning to crawl around and bark like a dog in the name of Jesus is what her campaign is doing.
You betcha.
You betcha, eh? You know, Alaska. It's a kind of like you could make that Canada joke. You know, the Canada joke, how they name Canada. They were like, it should start with a C, eh? N, eh? D, eh? Right? So that's how they named Canada. You could almost turn that into an Alaska joke. What should we name it, eh? L, A, S, K, A.
Jesus.
Yeah, and while you're at it, go fuck a moose, you dummy. All right, Glenn Beck actually has quite a bit to say about this, how important he is.
Oh, I can't wait.
Ever
Romney
since the
tried,
show started,
he tried to ignore us and win.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So now Romney didn't win because he ignored Glenn Beck and his cronies.
That's awesome.
It's like how much. I mean, this is narcissism, like mixed with xenophobia, mixed with ignorance, and it's like a dangerous combination. But I guess there are a lot of people out there like that. In order for these people to even be able to afford to sit there and spout this bullshit, I know they get a lot of money from like donors, like the AFA and you know, Republican or conservative think tanks and shit like that. But like Rush Limbaugh, he was playing dead air during his breaks because nobody would advertise with him. And then they finally got some like announcements or shit that they would do to fill the dead air. Like there was a time for a couple days where they just had dead air because they lost all their sponsors.
Yeah, but the course of American history was changed when Mitt Romney lost, all because he did not go on Glenn Beck's fucking little show here.
Well, you know, it's ironic is that Glenn Beck's a Mormon and so is Mitt Romney. So you would have thought that Mormon brotherhood would have brought them together. But Mitt Romney is probably smart enough to know that that's like a death sentence for your campaign and your presidency. And he probably would have lost 5 points by doing that fucking whatever, you know. You look at Glenn Beck with the crazy chalkboard conspiracies and all the weird shit he's done, and you just want to distance yourself from him, period. Unless he pays you directly to nod your head.
Isn't that interesting, though? Like, for instance, if somebody was to come on our show, that it wouldn't be like a necessary detriment to them in the future, but Glenn Beck show, like you go in there, you're like guaranteed to never go anywhere in politics. Like at least for our show, you know, you can't say that.
Well, yeah, I mean, although most of the people we have had on so far didn't really go too far anyway.
Well, that's why we had them on.
Well, yeah, we're trying to save their reputation, give them a little bit of credence. Be like, look, so I didn't win in my campaign, and so I quit halfway through governor, but at least the highlight of my career was the 6 or 7 minutes I got to spend on the goddamn podcast.
So we did them a favor. You know, they can like retire one day. They're on their porch.
They're gonna retire. They're gonna engrave that on their tombstone.
Yeah, because it was the only thing they did.
Was once on the goddamn podcast. Here lies Sarah Palin. She spent her entire life a failing. She knew that life wouldn't last, but she was happy that it ended on the goddamn podcast.
Yep. By the way, everybody, that is the end of Sarah Palin's career after the goddamn podcast. But she begged, and we let her on. So.
Well, you know, she begs for those big freaky eyes. Anyway, all right, let's let them finish up about how important they are.
I don't think you can get. I just don't think you can get the. You just can't get the Tea Party to be excited. If you're not going to actually address them where they live, and I'm not just saying our audience. I mean, you know, the people like us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you don't come and court the audience where we live, we're not going to. We won't believe you,
because it also says something about the fact that you're avoiding Tea Party members.
Yeah, show something about your courage.
Yeah.
So you think Glenn Beck is just doing this to kind of be like, guys, please come on,
dude?
Like,
he literally used the word courting. The politicians, the conservative politicians need to come court you where you live, like as if you couldn't get their positions through a TV broadcast or their website or something. No, I have to come stand here and shake your hand, and then that makes me good enough to vote for, or at least be on the Glenn Beck show. Like, he's just so fucking full of himself. I'm not expecting anyone of importance to be on my show. I mean, I would say I've had Dark Matter on here a couple times, but then again, he's not anyone of importance at all, ever in the history.
Not even in the small circles we run in.
Exactly.
It's Dark Matter of importance.
He just doesn't
matter. I hope he's listening.
He matters about as much as he has to worry about getting paying for expensive haircuts. Not very much.
Yeah.
All right, blasphemy. Somebody says, "Away with you, Glenn Beck. We don't want any more Glenn Beck.
Oh,
Fuck
man.
you, Glenn Beck. All right, we're gonna change it up."
This is real. The caliphate is real. They are end times. They're in a holy war. They want.
All right. He just says, he's like,
You
this is real. The caliphate's real. The end times are real. We're in a holy war. The chalkboard is out, motherfuckers.
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking. As soon as you're like, okay, no more Glenn Beck. And then as soon as it pops up, Glenn Beck, caliphate's real. This is real. It's a chalkboard conspiracy. God damn it, TJ.
I like to fuck with you a little bit. But yeah, I love how he's underlining a caliphate. He's like, this is real. Caliphate real. End times real. Holy war real. Let's let him continue.
Want to fight the emperor, the armies of Rome. That has not come together yet.
They're coming together to fight the armies of Rome. He's like, that one we're still waiting for.
It's so fucking crazy. God damn it.
Oh my God, man. What a fucking nutball. That one were, at least he had the decency to write one up there that was like, that they didn't quite have yet.
But that one was the funniest.
Yeah, it was definitely the funniest. All right.
Okay, wait, we haven't made it here yet, but like Paul pointed out, look at the top of the chalkboard. What does it say? The title.
Road to World War III.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, radical Islam is at the beginning of the road. Hard fascism is in the middle of the road.
Oh, no, that's soft fascism.
Oh, no, it goes in order, I guess, here. We have a what is it? Disobedient. I can't read the youth part. Disconcerted? Disdain? Something about the youth on the far right there. Anyway, then global depression, call to arms, soft fascism, hard fascism, and then radical Islam. All right, we're 10 seconds into this video. So I'm just going to start it from the beginning so you get the whole breadth of what he's saying without our interruption.
This is real. The caliphate is real. They are end times. They're in a holy war. They want to fight the emperor, the armies of Rome. That has not come together yet. They are here in the place where they say Armageddon will be, will happen. I told you when I was at Fox about this. Everyone said it was madness.
You don't say. You don't fucking say.
He's so fucking crazy, dude. It's so
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Have you seen the movie A Beautiful Mind?
Which one was that?
It's the one with the guy who's absolutely insane, but he's like writing out shit constantly. He's a genius, but it's like it's a beautiful mind minus the beautiful and the mind.
It's just a dumbass writing out shit.
It's just a chalkboard, pretty much.
Okay, so half the shit on here hadn't happened yet, but it's going to, goddamn.
Oh, shit. Oh, and now he shows up after we talk shit about him. Immediately after talking shit about dark matter, he's like, bloop, pops right in.
The dark matter.
You don't know the power of the don't matter.
You're just in time, dark matter, because we have this a nice little Glenn Beck chalkboard conspiracy.
We're going to educate you something fierce, all right, about the road
ready
to
for
World War III.
Ready for the road?
I remember being roundly scorned for saying that Nazism and fascism would rise again. It's now, this has happened now in Greece, Italy, France, Denmark, Spain, Germany, and Vienna.
Nazis are in control, I guess.
Yeah, because he's talking about, he said hard fascism has just happened? Isn't that what he just said?
Let me rewind it a second.
Would rise again. And fascism would rise again. It's now.
It's Nazism and fascism.
Yeah, well, fascism would rise again. Well, and I guess it depends on the extent, because in some ways, fascism has never left those places. There's fascism here. I mean, it depends on what your standard of fascism is.
I think that's fascist, bro.
Yeah, it might be.
You fucking fascist. You fascist, man. Every time I hear the word fascist, it reminds me of was it Family Guy, where Cookie Monster is in like rehab, and they look under his mattress and they find fucking cookies, and he's like, "Those aren't mine, man. You guys put him there. You can't do this, man. This is fascism. Fascism." That's what I think every time I hear fascist.
Wow. But that's what I mean, man. It depends. But my fascism is actually rather soft, TJ. Yours is a little harder than mine.
Oh, yeah. I've got a big, hard, throbbing fascism right here in my pants. Oh, god damn. Drew, can
We
you
should have
feel
never got
that?
you that mic.
Oh, man. Oh, my voice comes so clearly. Just take your speaker, your subwoofer, and just put it right up against your taint. God damn.
Do it again.
God damn.
Jesus. It was worth it.
Bada boom.
And Dark Matter. Oh, Dark Matter's still here. Big surprise. Put your subwoofer back underneath the desk. Dark Matter. That wasn't meant for you. Meant for everyone else.
This has happened now in Greece, Italy, France, Denmark, Spain, Germany, and Vienna. Russia is putting the Third Roman Empire together, and
Okay, I would like, like what is it Ormer Skeptic says all the time in his videos? Citation, please. Yeah, I would love to hear a little more about that, Glenn. Don't just pass that up.
There's no asterisk on any of these, you'll notice. There's no like greater detail or anything. It's just like straight up road to World War II, call to arms, fascism, Islam. I wrote some shit. He didn't even write any of that shit on the board. Somebody else, it's their job to draw that shit on the board before he goes up there and makes a speech. He's like, here's what I want. All right, I want you to draw a road. Or a twisty road, and then there's like global depression and a call to arms, and then fascism. No, wait, soft fascism and then hard fascism, and then I want you to take it to radical Islam. That's the end of the road, all right? And then grab some purple fucking chalk and then write down the names of these countries here that I think are Nazi fascists. That poor son of a bitch. I hope they get paid more than minimum wage.
Probably not, because Glenn Beck doesn't believe in minimum wage. They're all probably like interns and volunteers and shit.
Exactly. Oh, God. They probably pay him to do it.
Yeah.
By the way,
So
if there's
Glenn Beck
anyone
can
out
afford
there,
our new hats for every episode.
if there's anyone out there that would love to just like produce this podcast for us, so I don't have to do any work and come up with all the material and do all the editing and everything, and pay us, we're totally cool with that. So,
But wouldn't it though? Just kind of because you brought that up, wouldn't it be kind of cool to be in like a Glenn Beck production meeting where he's like when he's telling the intern to write all this on the board?
oh yeah, oh it'd be epic. I'm pretty sure you got to go through like a metal detector before they let you anywhere in this place. They're cuckoo, man. This is their freaking the guy in charge that they all bow to. This guy with the fucking chalkboard with the weird like pictures and
the dumb vests, the dumb sweaters.
Wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses inside. Who the fuck does that? Or they're not sunglasses, they're reading glasses. But
well, that's especially retarded.
Yeah, because everyone knows this motherfucker can't read.
We now have soft fascism. I told you soft fascism would rise. Here it is. These things have not happened yet, but they're about to. I'll give you this.
I think you were wrong, TJ.
It goes the other way, yeah. It goes radical Islam to hard fascism, then to soft fascism, then a call to arms, then global depression. Like, wait, the call to arms brings on a global depression?
Yeah, and by the way, that's disenchanted youth.
You would think that it would go totally the other way. I mean, maybe radical Islam isn't the end. Well, it would be, yeah. It makes totally more sense going the other way. I think he's reading it backwards. He's just so stupid.
Because he didn't write it. Probably because he didn't fucking write it.
He's like, I'm just gonna name. Like, I learned to read these here words. I'm going to say them in order and say that I is right. He's like, radical Islam is real. Fascism is real. Therefore, the call to arms is about to happen. Because I'm Glenn Beck, and I know every fucking thing. Everything. I wear fucking sweater vests. You can trust me.
Jesus, dude, it seriously is. Everything on there looks backwards. You know, I can see it starts with the youth disenchanted, and then there's a little bit of depression, and they do the call to arms. Fascism starts all soft, then it gets hard. Next thing you know, radical Islam.
Yeah, instead it's radical Islam leads to hard fascism, which leads to soft fascism, then the call to arms, then the global depression, and then the disenchanted youth.
I really think this dude read his chalkboard backwards.
Exactly. I think he's that stupid. I think we just cracked the fucking Glenn Beck code here.
He's so fucking dumb. He read his own little chart to World War III backwards.
It really is a fucking beautiful mind without the beautiful or the mind. It's just a crazy dipshit. And some people that apparently believe in the shit that he says.
Well, here's what we know, TJ. We know the caliphate's real, right? We know the end times are real.
Okay, obviously. Now, the end times one, I believe, before the caliphate, because obviously, you know, end times. Well, God, Jesus.
This deal with the revised Roman Empire, well, that hasn't happened yet, but it's going to, TJ.
He's fucking so nutty. All right, let's finish it.
And I don't know which direction, and I don't know the time and order. I have no idea.
First fucking correct thing he said so far. And I like how saying he doesn't know the time or order is not enough. He has to say, I don't know the time, on the, or the order. I have to write it down for all you dipshits out there that can't just listen to me and understand what I'm saying. I'm going to say it and then write it down. Like you're in 3rd grade. And I'm like, hello, my name is Mr. Beck. That's B-E-C-K. All right, Beck. You dipshits, because I know you have the fucking education of a 3rd grader if you're listening to me. Let me fucking literally spell it out for you. Time, question mark. Don't know time. Time, question mark. Don't know order. O-R-D-E-R, question mark. Complete fucking moron.
Oh, yeah.
Saying we've got to get our army together and we've got to go fight these guys or these guys. We don't. It will suck the entire globe into a game-changing series of cataclysmic events. This is coming. And if we call to arms before the world becomes educated and admits the truth of who these guys are and who these guys are, we lose. Call to arms, global depression, and disenfranchised youth.
Even though it clearly says disenchanted.
I think they're going to happen 1, 2, 3.
He's going to tell us the order they're coming in. It's called arms. He just said this is the order it's going to happen in.
1, 2, 3.
So it starts off with the call to arms, and then there's a global depression, and then disenfranchised youth, even though it says disenchanted. He's like, because I didn't write this, so I got no. I just read the first fucking couple letters, and I just guessed from there on out, just like I did with the rest of this chalkboard that someone the fuck else wrote. This guy's a complete fucking idiot, and he's explaining us the road to World War III, because the last step on the road to World War III is the disenfranchised youth. Wait, it's not hard fascism or a call to arms or any of that other shit. It's when the youth aren't the youth already disenfranchised?
Yeah.
They fucking listen to like Katy Perry and shit. How enfranchised do you consider them? How much of a threat are they? And Jesus, how many young viewers does Glenn Beck have? Maybe that's why he's so unfamiliar with what the youth actually cares about and what they're familiar with. Maybe.
Well, That's probably just one of the many things.
I mean, but his average age of his viewers got to be like 50 something, maybe 60. It's not as bad as Fox News, I'm sure, because he attempts to. Well, it's got to be pretty bad because he draws it out and spells it out for them literally. It's not enough to just say this shit because that wouldn't like get the mental image of a road in their head. You got to draw the fucking road, and don't forget the dotted line because there's passing on this road, even though it's very curvy and doesn't look very safe. And that's not one of those roads I would pass anybody on, but it's a dotted line, which means it's legal to pass because we're in Lulu land.
I like how it's like it looks more like a back road, not like a highway, because you know that's socialism. So at least he's being consistent there.
Surprised they didn't take the time to draw it in as a dirt road. So when you're driving up my dirt road here, you're gonna drive up my dirt road with your hard fascism. God damn. Oh shit. All right.
How much more do we have on this?
It's only a few seconds.
These two will come quickly. I think we could see a call to arms by the summer because this is going to get out of control. This is already getting out of control.
So he's calling for the World War III to start, the call to arms to start for World War III at the summer. So you got 3 months.
But he's not entirely. This is how they always get away with this shit.
I'm not sure about this. God only told me a few parts of this, and he left a bunch of parts blank because he's God, and he likes to fuck with me because I'm a crazy lunatic.
Exactly. Like God, like Pat Robertson, God told me he was going to be the next president, but he told me not to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was the point of telling you in the first place?
And then he was wrong. He said, "Don't worry, it won't be Obama." And it was Obama, you dipshit, you crazy old fuck. I guess God was fucking with you, or God wanted you to think it was. Maybe you misheard God when he said Obama. You heard like Romney.
Well, he probably would have thought it was somebody else because he said it early on. He was probably thinking like Rick Santorum or something. Somebody that didn't even make it to the finals. Like,
totally.
Got it.
Totally. He's like Donald Trump.
This is what I don't understand, man. Like God chooses Glenn Beck and Pat Robertson to like tell us all what the score is, right? And like only gives them like little pieces at a time. Like, why the fuck would he do that, Glenn?
That's just to fuck with you on purpose.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's almost over.
I don't know. I'm always horrible on time. A global depression.
As in, not gonna happen. Wait, how can you make a prediction that is when you claim to be horrible at time?
Yeah, or in order.
Yeah, like you can't get the time or order of things, but you can predict that they're going to happen. So basically, if you predict something doesn't happen, but claim to be bad at timing, you can just say, well, I'm just bad at timing, so it'll happen. My timing's just off. Oh, did I say next month? I meant next millennia.
Yeah.
Because my
That's all he
timing
ever
is
does.
bad.
The Rome thing. You know, okay, well, this hasn't happened yet with Rome.
No, he's like, this hasn't happened, nor has it shown any signs of happening. But instead, he's like, hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Yet. It will happen soon. Don't worry. All right, let's be done with Glenn Beck for real this time.
Tool out of their hands. You're in New York. What's going on? One of the first things Mayor De Blasio did here was he said we're going to pull stop and frisk, which means, you know, in deference to the Fourth Amendment, unreasonable searches and seizures, they said it was unreasonable to profile African Americans or anyone for that matter and just say, hey, what are you doing? Let me see your ID. Let me talk to you. They push back on that. Problem is that was finding a lot of crimes. Some say just misdemeanor crimes. Point is, why are we pulling law enforcement tools out of their hands? Why are we taking that away?
So he's saying by not allowing stop and frisk, you're taking the tools of law enforcement away from them. He's like, and I guess, you know, Fourth Amendment withstanding. You know, just
I'm about to say, because he even just mentioned it himself that it was a Fourth Amendment
and then
violation.
immediately said that, you know, you're taking their tools away from them. This guy's, don't worry, it gets worse.
This should be a test case for New York City or any major city or any city for that matter. This office was targeted in 2006. It was targeted in 2011. A couple of weeks ago, it was targeted saying there's credible threats against this office. They put cops in front of the office.
Yeah.
But they put cops with handguns. Maybe some didn't even have handguns. There are reports that some didn't even have a gun. These guys walked up heavily armed and blew away 12 people, walked out of there unscathed.
So his solution is?
Here's the point. There's been a very serious push from the left saying, let's not over-militarize our cops. That should put an end to that discussion right now. We should over-militarize. We should continue to do that. One last thought. I'm sorry.
No,
after 9/11, I was in the building in 9/11. Right after 9/11, there was the New York City cops. What they did was they did these shows of force. Heavily armed cops would walk around buildings. They'd show up anywhere. 12 cop cars would line up. They'd get out with the full body gear, with the machine guns, ready just to show the bad guys they're there.
So, if you've ever traveled abroad and you see just a bunch of dudes standing around in like military garb carrying like submachine guns or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, that's fucking terrifying, that's what Eric Bolling wants to bring to America. He just wants the cops to roll up heavily fucking armored and with like over militarized and just show up on like the street corner and just like show their authority, because that'll scare the bad guys, and then like things won't happen that are bad as long as you're super harsh. Because in like Saudi Arabia, their jails are empty because their punishments are so harsh, right? Oh no, wait, there's people in their jails, and there's people with their hands lopped off and their heads lopped off and all that shit. Oh, good job. Good job, Eric Bolling. You want to do like over military, the police that are so militarized already, showing up in like fucking military gear with military armor or military fucking assault rifles, showing up for protests or whatever in their full out like gear, and then they have shooting tear gas and shit like that, like it's like there's no tomorrow, and getting away with just shooting people, unarmed people, as quickly as they can and shit like that. But that's not militarized enough for you. Or putting people in chokeholds, or letting cops get away with not even going through a trial when they fucking kill people. That's not enough for you. You need to militarize the shit out of them, have them show up on the street corner and come out in like full thug force.
Yeah, because it's not even that it's bad now. I mean, it's not even gone far enough. Like, it needs to go further. That's what he's saying. There needs to be, not only is the argument not fine now for not having a militarized police force, but it hasn't gone near far enough. There needs to be more of it. We need more cops, instead of a cop car, it's like tanks and shit.
Well,
military presence.
We've got one of our top patrons asking, what do you think, talk about the open carry movement. There are some, like, look, if you are allowed to have a gun, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to carry it openly. What the hell kind of shit is that? That's like saying you can sell bongs but not smoke weed. It's right along those lines. It doesn't fucking make sense. Now there are stupid ways to do it. By the way, my headphones are gonna die, and I'm gonna have to pop in new headphones. So I'm just gonna kind of keep talking and not listen to you. For a minute while I switch out these batteries.
TJ's such a douche.
Look, there are stupid ways to do it. Like,
you guys
for
have any
instance,
idea how much of a douche
showing
TJ
up
is?
at Applebee's, fully fucking armed to the
fag.
teeth and shit, to say that you're open carrier, blah blah blah. That's a stupid way of fucking doing it. You don't need to show up at Chili's.
TJ, if you're gay, say
with
something
a
else.
fucking AR-15 to exercise your open carry fucking law, right? You can do that without, you can just sit there with a fucking like pistol in a holster on your fucking hip, covered by a jacket. I have a buddy who carries his gun on him all the time, and he doesn't like do it to show it off. He's got a fucking like hidden holster that he keeps fucking behind him, and he's constantly making sure that he's not wearing clothes that show it off or anything like that. That's true, like carrying, not just trying to be a dipshit with your fucking gun. And I'm all about like gun rights, as far as it's responsible and regulated. That's my deal. It can't just be everyone gets a gun and it'll be safer that way. Like, that's not reality. And if you want to listen to NRA talking points like that, I guess that's your choice. But personally, I know that let's say You put sharper knives in the kitchen, more people are going to get like worse cuts. You know what I mean? If you put more guns in people's hands and you're dealing with all these idiots already, and then you arm those idiots, and you think that good things are going to happen from that, you're just kind of lying to yourself. But there's a correct way to do it, and I don't think we're doing it quite the correct way.
I would say by and large I agree with that. The things that I completely do not agree with, because we're talking about, I think you were talking more about concealed carry. I wanted to say the question was more about open carry, and if you mean by open carry,
no, well,
for instance, in Texas where you can carry AR-15s on your back through the city, that's bullshit.
Should there be a huge difference between concealed carry and open carry? Because if you can openly carry it, why shouldn't you be able to conceal carry it? Like, so if you can open carry but can't conceal carry, that means you have to like make a big show that you're armed everywhere you go. Is that how it works?
Well, no, I'm saying I'm trying to make the distinction between, if you're talking about concealed carry, you're talking about like pistols and shit like that, and like your hip and it's covered up. I'm talking more like open carry is like the guys that are walking into like Hobby Lobby and shit with fucking AR-15s.
Yeah,
that is just, to me, completely bad shit. I can't think of any reason to think it should be legal for citizens to carry assault rifles on their shoulders.
Would you feel safer if you went to a movie and like the three guys sitting around you all had AR-15s?
No, I would feel like I was in a different fucking country. Like, why the fuck do you need an assault rifle to go to a goddamn movie?
It's in case one of the bad guys has a gun, because then there's a good guy with a gun.
Yeah, and I love that scenario. So everybody starts popping off rounds in a dark fucking movie theater.
And nobody gets hurt but the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? It might happen if you have people in there that are like, I don't know, ex-Marines or some shit like that are like, oh, look, a bad guy. Yeah, pop, 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 pop.
No, if you have like night vision and everything, but if you're that fucking paranoid, just wait until it comes out on DVD. Do us all a favor. Wait till it comes out on DVD. Sit on your own couch with your AR-15 across your lap, and wait for someone to break into your house while you watch your fucking movie. Do us all a favor, and then shoot your sister-in-law when she enters without knocking or some shit. Do that for us instead of actually putting the rest of us in actual danger. I swear to God, if I was at a restaurant and a bunch of people sat at the table across from me with a bunch of fucking weapons across their laps or some shit, I'd be like, check please. Fuck that. I'm not going to be the next, like, local news story, like, man gets shot in the neck by a bunch of retards at a Chili's. Like, I'm not going to be that guy. Fuck that. I don't need to be around extra danger. I already drive on the road with a bunch of retards that put my fucking life in jeopardy every time I fucking go drive, every time I do anything. My life is in other people's hands constantly. I certainly, and I've encountered enough idiots to know that I don't want to put a gun in their hands and then be like, all right, let's hope you don't fuck up. Not a good way to go about shit. And cops, by the way, are people too. And they fuck up all the time too. So to pretend that if you over-militarize them, they're just going to use it in a perfect way and never like overstep their bounds or become like militaristic instead of there to protect and serve. You're as stupid as fucking Eric Bowling here.
And the thing is, normal cops, like regular cops, yeah, I mean, you know, it's good to have shit like a SWAT team and like, those more like, there's like a hierarchy of police force. Your average everyday cop does not need that. He does not need to be rolling through like small town fucking Cowtown, Texas in a fucking Panzer or some shit. He doesn't need that. There's no need for automatic assault rifles and shit like that. There's some of these towns even today where cops don't carry guns, and if they do, they carry their little 6-shooter or whatever just in case.
Yeah, it's not meant, and it's meant as a deterrent. As a deterrent, it's totally feasible. Like, someone might feel like if I break into your house and all you have to defend yourself is like a baseball bat or a knife, then I could overpower you. But if you have a gun, like, that deters them. I understand that. But then you look at things like the death penalty. You would think having the death penalty, and if a state has the death penalty, there would be no murders because people would be terrified of the consequences. But that's not how people fucking work. And they're not always smart, and they're not always responsible. And like when you give power to the NSA, they're going to use it to spy on their exes and shit. Like the people working for it. That's because people are fucking fallible. including the cops, including the president, including the generals, including me, including Drew, including everyone in this audience. There's people are fucking fallible, terribly so. We've proved it to ourselves over and over and over. And yet from that lesson of history, what people like Eric Bowling take away is we should give the cops some more firepower. That will solve everything. That's the conclusion they fucking come away with.
Yeah. That's fucking horrible. Leave it to a dumbass like that to.
I swear to God, if it wasn't for the Fox News logo and the like scrolling thing at the bottom, this would almost be the opening to a porno.
It's like, so ladies, and probably one hell of a porno because the ladies actually look pretty good.
Pretty good. I know you've got that jungle fever.
Oh, I do. Don't you know it?
That's right.
Or Dark Matter calls this setup Friday night. That's just what Dark Matter calls it.
Yeah, that's right. Dark Matter calls this a problem because I can't squeeze all them hoes in my Lotus. He's like, you, black dress. You, turquoise dress. No, not you with the glasses. Hop in. You're going to have to sit in her lap. I hope that's all right. Actually, you know what?
He said, poor bros, that's a slow night.
Yeah. Actually, I take it back. You, the one with the glasses. Come here. You can sit on the gear shift.
Jesus. I'm glad you're here, Dark Matter.
Yeah.
You finally showed up.
Finally. It's about fucking time, seriously.
That's kind of gone away. Maybe it's time to bring it back. It's not intimidating.
Police state, though?
No, I don't want. It's not a police state.
Okay, but
it's a safe state.
let me just make one point.
It's not a police state. It's a safe state.
That's exactly what someone advocating for a police state would say.
Exactly. But keep in mind, this is a guy who thinks the government can do no fucking right. He's like, and that's socialism, by the way, to even have police. Socialism. The socialist cops that work for the government that fucks everything up are going to do, let's give them some more firepower and just trust them and never question them. How can you fucking have those those opposing views and convince yourself that you're totally right about everything? That's a question, Drew.
And so I'm thinking of how to answer that. I'm wondering if some of these people even know that, for instance, socialism, that's what socialism is. I'm curious if Eric Bowling even knows that socialism is.
I'm pretty sure he's one of those people that would say like socialist, communist, so and so in the same sentence.
Oh, I know he would. I'm sure I've heard him say that before. But I'm wondering if he knows that, for instance, the police force is brought to you by socialism.
Yeah. If it wasn't, then like the firefighters wouldn't put out your house if it was on fire when you called them. They'd be like, oh, like there was the case of someone who called the fire department, said there's a small fire in our backyard, we need the fire department. Then the fire department in that town charged people $75 a year for their services. And the people hadn't paid their $75. So they said, no, we're not going to show up. And they're like, look, it's just a small fire, but it's going to get worse if someone doesn't show up. And the fire department wouldn't show up. And so it spread, and it took up their like shed in the back, and then spread to a tree, and then to their house. And as their house burned, the fire department finally showed up. And it was to make sure the fire didn't spread to their neighbors, because their neighbors had paid the $75.
Yeah, and yeah.
That's the fucking kind of society and civilization you want to work in, or live in, or you want to. That's the free market they're looking for. Be like, just pay for your own firefighter. Just pave your own road. Just fucking.
Yeah, you call a firefighter or a cop like you would a cab. Yeah, like they did this before, like way back in the day. It's almost, it would be the equivalent of, you know how tow truck drivers operate, right? Yeah. Where they all fucking show up at the same time, and at least they do here. And the cop goes out there and he flips a coin. Whoever calls it, they win, and they're the ones that get to take the car away. That's how they do it here, because they all show up. That's pretty much what you're asking.
No, over here it's more like they have certain companies, and they'll call them direct. Certain companies have certain areas. And,
okay, yeah, that's not how they do it here. It is free market capitalism here. They fucking swarm around all the time, and like 6 of them will fucking damn near like cause other cars to wreck, pulling up to the wreck. It's that bad. And when they pull up to the wreck, they all get over there, and they're all like, no, I was here first. They all kind of scramble with each other. Meanwhile, the car is like blocking up the fucking highway. And the cop was over there like, hold on, fellas, hold on. Who was here first? Goes through all this shit. And then starts flipping coins, and it narrows it down to 2 guys. and whoever calls the last coin is the one who gets the tow. That's pretty much what they want the fire department to do while the neighborhood is blazing. You know,
as if you'd want a bunch of fucking half-ass fucking firefighters and have no standards. By the way, with that free market shit, there would be no fucking fire hydrants.
No.
So with no fire hydrants, you think one private company is going to put in the fire hydrants for each individual area, and that's the way it's going to work? And that like I don't know, what are they going to rent out the fire hydrants to people that other fire departments that need to use them? Like what do they think? How do they think this is going to fucking work properly and be better than what we have already? I mean, we can improve, but it's certainly not by getting rid of the fucking social services we do have.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the thing is, at one point in the past, before we had all those things, that is how it worked, and it was fucking horrible. You ever seen Gangs of New York? Gangs of New York is a perfect example of how they used to do the fire department. The two ones come there and they're saying like, okay, well, how much are you going to pay us? It's like an auction thing. Like, oh, please just go, fucking spray some water on my fucking house. It's burning down. I'm losing all my shit. It's like, oh, wait a minute. And they're competing with each other out there. Like, who's going to do this?
Well, not only that, I just heard a story about the county that takes in the most in like food stamps and welfare and all that kind of shit, like in government services, is actually in like Kansas or whatever, and it's 95% white. Didn't we cover that at some point?
Well, that almost sounds just like the state of Mississippi. Mississippi's like that.
Well, this was like the number one. It might have been Oklahoma or Kansas or Kentucky or who knows. Anyway, it was the number one county for like taking government programs. It was 95% white and 99% white, 95% Republican, and they literally voted away their own benefits.
No,
that's the kind of fucking people you're dealing with. They don't even fuck. They're like, well, I mean, I guess I give them the credit of their conviction. They'd rather be hungry than go against their conscience, even though it's the only way they're gonna eat is if they take a fucking food stamp card or something like that. Like, I guess I'm of the mindset that people are against paying taxes because they know their taxes aren't going towards things that are actually, like, beneficial. They know that tax money is going towards, like, corruption, war, drug testing for welfare recipients, shit like that. That's where your tax money goes, to put cops on the road to pull people over for, like, having a tail light out and shit like that. Like, they're not actually, they don't bring enough money. And I think if you actually got something like healthcare or something like that, these other countries, they don't complain about their taxes being too high, and they get taxed a lot more. And it's because they get so much in return for it. And they understand that you pay into the society as long as it's benefiting you. And here we don't care that much. We just...
Well, here we're still having a debate about what society is and how it functions,
or who should have the same rights. Yeah.
Because every other industrialized, like, first world country has been past that for quite some time, and we're still, like, having that conversation. What does it mean to have a society?
Yeah,
you have these people we're trying to drag into. We really are trying to drag them into the 21st century, and we're just trying to tell them, like, hey, this is how society works. You realize you're not doing everything by yourself. That's not how society works, but people don't know those things. Just like fucking Eric Bowling here probably doesn't even realize that when you're driving on a highway, asshole, you didn't buy that fucking highway. Tax dollars
can you
went to building
imagine?
the fucking
Can you
highway.
imagine a free market car? They'd be like, whoa, we could save $5 by not putting in a seatbelt. No seatbelt. All right, we can save $100 by not putting in any airbags. So no airbags. That breakaway glass is, really expensive, or the safety glass really expensive. So just put, like, coffee table glass in there.
Jesus.
That's pretty much the way it would go. Oh, you want a $200 car? I got one right here. It's pretty much a fucking death trap. It's a lawnmower with a seat on it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of the world that you would look at. I remember there was one meme on Facebook. It was like a libertarian society, and it was like a clip of Mad Max, right? And these people are in these horrible cars, like turning around shooting pistols at this guy in this little makeshift helicopter.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Dude, that's like spot on. That's what you like. We're all living in like sand. Everything's shitty. Everything is shitty, and it's all for like who will go for the lowest price. You know?
Technically, the free market is really anarchism. Like total free market is pretty much anarchism.
Yeah, it's just like super. You think of anarchism, you might think of something different, but it's like if you went so far right, that's where you would end up. If you went so far left, that's probably where you.
If I'm bigger than you, I can pound you and take your shit.
Yeah, it's a might makes right kind of thing.
Exactly.
Corporations are.
It's might makes right versus money makes right.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. I think I'm
Good
gonna
rant.
move on. Yeah, we're gonna move on. He does say more stupid shit, but I'm done. I'm
no doubt.
Done looking at his smug fucking face. Yeah. All right. Here was a request. So I'm gonna skip a little bit forward because she's kind of stupid and long-winded.
Guys, what's up? So I'm doing my video blog today in my bedroom because my man friend is here and he's out in the living room and I can't be doing this type of shit around him because it's like super awkward and I don't think I. So for those of you who know me or have been following me, you guys know this. I read the Bible and I try to live to please God, regardless of what any of you guys think. Because of what I do, you don't know my relationship with God. I talk to God every day. When I say I talk to God, I don't mean I pray. I do pray to God, but when I talk to God, you know, and I feel God, I felt him, I hear him, I feel his love and he feels mine. So for those of you who know me or have been following me, you guys know this.
By the way, she's a porn actress. Just wanted to say, she has a hat that says "Fly High." She's got giant fucking things in her ear. I mean, look, I'm fine with all this shit, but this is actually, I think it's kind of stylish. It's just what she's saying doesn't jive. Like, God talks to her every day, and she talks to God, and God was like, "What hat you gonna wear today, sweetheart?" And she's like, "I think I'm gonna wear the Fly High hat." Yeah, and then the Mickey Mouse would squeeze my tits shirt. God's like, "Good choice. Why don't you get another tattoo while you're at it, and stretch your fucking ear out another ½ inch?" Because that's what God would do. What would Jesus do? He would definitely, I don't know, he'd either fuck this bitch or keep her from getting stoned. Can you imagine? He doesn't
do either.
Can you imagine if she lived back in the day? She's like, no, I'm going to tell you, I talk to God, guys. And like,
yeah, pretty much. And that is code for let's beat her to fucking death with rocks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she does, hold on.
I get a lot of people who tell me I'm going to hell all the time, every day. Every day, you know, I'm going to hell because porn is the worst sin, or, you know, because I
thought it was homosexuality, by the way. Oh, Drew thinks he can just leave? Fine, I'll just leave. Fine, bye.
That's how we roll, everybody. We just kind of do what the fuck we want here on the goddamn podcast. I gave him the finger. I gave him the hey teach. Walking off, bruh.
Oh yeah.
Had to get a beer, bruh.
Let me give you this is New York cheesecake, and when I say New York cheesecake, I mean this is cheesecake from New York. My girlfriend just went to New York, and she came back, and she literally brought this cheesecake back from New York, along with some sausage that we used on some homemade pizzas tonight that were incredible. But yeah,
is it Italian sausage? I think our guest here knows a little bit about sausage.
Are you talking about dark matter?
Of course.
All right, we continue.
Smoke weed, which, speaking of which, sorry.
Oh, speaking of which, sorry.
You guys are so cool. Wish I was like you guys.
God wanted you to smoke weed too, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. I'm sorry. I know as much as you love smoking weed, TJ.
No, it's because God wanted me to, bro. It's not my choice. Look, if I could help it, I wouldn't smoke or drink or anything. But God was like, go to the store, man, buy some beer. He's like, hey, bro, you're about out of weed. You should probably call your dealer. I was like, oh, shit, you're right. Thanks, God. I appreciate you looking out for me.
God is just kind of like a code word for, you know, your own self talking to yourself.
I guess.
Like, hey, you know, this bag's getting kind of empty.
She
I might
says
want
she
another
talks
dime or
to him every day. And, like, God has time for fucking, like, chicks that start their video off with, sorry, guys, I'm making this in a side room because my man friend is over. By the way, I'm a porn actress. Man friend means some guy that's about to fuck me in the butt.
That sounds like envy in your voice, TJ.
It is. Hey, let's continue.
He healed people, or Jesus healed people with marijuana. But anyway.
Oh, that was one. That was one. No,
So-
stop it, goddammit. Stop it.
What? You don't believe that Jesus...
Yeah, exhale.
Wait 1 second there, buddy. You don't think that Jesus healed people with marijuana? Is that what I'm hearing you tell me? I refuse to believe it, sir.
Okay, there's one of these things. I'm sorry, dude. And you're somebody that smokes marijuana. I've smoked plenty of marijuana.
I don't know what
in the
you're
past.
talking about, sir. What I smoke is totally
Oregano?
legal tobacco, like pipe tobacco. I like pipe tobacco, but I couldn't find a good wooden pipe, so I just smoke out of a glass one. I do absolutely nothing illegal. Nothing. That's against the law, sir. And I respect our overly militarized police. I just want that to be a matter of record.
Before they kick through your door, fucking tackle you to the ground. Jesus.
All right, I think we're done with porn. It's leading us in a terrible direction.
Yeah, it's a good video if you want to get like a little headache, and but it's really long, man. She like drags it out, but she hasn't even gone for the Cheetos yet.
Oh, she breaks out the Cheetos?
Dude, yeah, she's like, you know, that's what was so fucking funny. She's sitting there high, right? You see her eyes all getting all red, and all of a sudden she's like in the middle of talking about her little philosophy and shit. Then you hear the crunching, and she grabs that bag and just opens it up, so she's taking into flaming hot Cheetos.
That's pretty fucking funny.
I don't know if you saw this story, but it was reported from Nigeria that this administration said unless you change your law to allow same-sex marriage, then we're not going to help you against the radical Islamist Boko Haram, which is killing Christians, having young girls raped and sold into sex slavery. I mean, it is incredible the way this administration is turning its back on Christians and Jews around the world. And I am very afraid, since I know, as Abraham Lincoln quoted from the Old Testament, the judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. Doesn't matter how many people in America are faithful followers, we have put into place leaders who may bring down judgment on the United States if we don't start helping the good guys.
So there we have Louis Gohmert. Look at that face. That wasn't an accident. He's like, that's the best picture. Use that one.
It was probably like the best of like 5 or 6.
Oh, God, more like 50 or 60. They're like, let's try this again. Try not to look like such a dumb fuck. He's like, I can't help it. All right, that's Louis Gohmert. Here we go with The Last Nerve. And then we'll play Last Thug Life and the show's over. We appreciate everyone for showing up. Please consider subscribing and becoming a Patreon. Our patron on our Patreon. We will be doing exclusive patron shows starting next month, so jump in there now if you want to catch that. I'm sure it'll be tons of fun. And here we go with The Last Nerve.
And Pat, this first one is from Sherry, who says, my spouse and I are not in agreement as to whether or not we should attend the gay marriage of our child. One of us feels that it's totally against the Lord's plan and our attendance would send at the very least a mixed message, or at worst it could be like taking a stand for gay marriage. The other feels our attendance would show support to our child that's necessary for the future of our relationship and witness. What do you think we should do? Should one attend while the other one does not?
You want to ask my opinion? I think you don't agree with the idea of homosexual marriage. Now, you say gay. I don't know if it's two men
or two women.
Or
Right?
two
They
women.
don't say. Mhm.
Don't say, but it's not heterosexual.
What?
Yeah, that's kind of what it means.
Yeah, I don't know when they say homosexual, that might mean two men or two women. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but they didn't say which one, so I'm not aware. Thank you, John fucking Madden. He's like, you see what what the fucking football team is trying to do is move the ball forward towards the end zone. And then when they do that, they score points. And then they put the points on the scoreboard, you see? Jesus Christ, thank you, Captain fucking droopy-eared obvious.
Don't agree with it. It's a solemn, you got to stand there and be a witness to it. And by your attendance at the ceremony, you were agreeing. We used to say, you know, anybody who opposes this, let him speak or forever hold his peace and all that kind of thing. I just wouldn't go. I would tell your child, I love you, but I cannot condone this. And, you know, we'll always love you, but I don't condone this activity.
So it's I love you with conditions for your own child. What a sick piece of shit. You know, even Dick Cheney's not that fucking bad.
You know what I think, and I've told you this before about Pat, but one of the things I always think about Pat Robertson is every time he talks, I just think, like, this is why the older generation has probably always sounded to the younger generation. The older generation has always sounded like just crazy, outdated. And that's pretty much, he's talking like, you know, it's the 1950s. They had this mentality in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we're hearing from him now. And it's just, dude, that is so far removed from, you know, like what we see is like being, you know, good ideas and bad ideas and stuff like that. It's just fucking done.
Well, for my patrons of my actual Cocktopus Patreon, you will be getting a special double dose of your favorite droopy-eared motherfucker, because this was not the dumbest thing. And it wasn't even the second dumbest thing. It was the third dumbest thing he said this fucking last week. And the first...
And listen to what he said. And that is like the third dumbest thing he's just said in the last like 2 weeks.
Yep. And but the first two are featured in my Patreon only video, which I'll be uploading a little bit later this month, probably in under a week, for all my patrons. And I do have a new video I'm going to be uploading to my actual Cocktopus channel either later tonight or tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. But all right, let's finish this shit off. It's almost over.
And so, you know, I'm here if you need me.
Difficult decision.
I mean, that's tough, but I really think, and not one of you, I mean, that indicates that her or his conduct is splitting your marriage. You don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. Be a unity, and I would say don't go.
Be in unity.
Yeah.
But don't go.
Yeah, by not supporting your children, be in unity. What a sick fuck.
Yeah, and
giving out this fucking bullshit
isn't
advice.
he talking about, like, for instance, if your child is gay, like your child's wedding?
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
wow.
You know, I disagree with it, therefore I'm just... And if you're that much of a heartless fuck, then I guess the kid doesn't really need you in their life anyway.
Well,
you're probably doing them a favor.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like, so shitty. For instance, in the next couple of months, like 2 months away from, like, today, I'm supposed to be best man at my best friend's wedding. And he's, like, hardcore Christian. And his dad is the pastor and shit like that. I'm not going to not go to my best friend's wedding and, like, take part in the ceremony because I don't believe in Jesus and shit like that. Dude, that's just fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's fucked up. I don't know. It really is outdated. And they live in a time where they could say this shit and it wasn't captured by everybody. And they're like, they have such a problem with Right Wing Watch for putting these videos out because they're exposing their fucking idiocy. And before they could get away with it, like people, I guess if you say it to people in a group and the people aren't willing to call you out to your face, you're like, oh shit, I'm right about everything. And then they put it out there for a bunch of people to just make fun of. And you're like, oh, ouch. That hurts. Ugh,
Yeah, and the thing is, that's one of the best things about Right Wing Watch is it has no commentary with it. It's just like a straight sample of what was being said.
And they love to call it out of context, though.
Yeah, and it is possible to do that and take something out of context, but you can like go see what the original shit was from Right Wing Watch. It's like, okay, but you know they can't obviously they aren't going to show you 3-hour-long videos every time. It's not out of context. It's you saying stupid shit, and we're just calling you on it. That's why it's there.
Pretty much. All right. Well, thanks again to all of you for viewing. Thanks to all our patrons. It's really taken off, and we will owe you an extra show next month for patrons only, and we'll try to make it extra awesome.
All right, babe. Take it easy, everybody.
You do the same, Drew. I'll see you next time.
¡Somos grandes, viva Chile, mierda! De pronto se viene a comparsa llegar. De pronto se oye venir un grito de bulla y fervor popular. De gana y de corazón, como dice el grupo. Chileno, chileno, chileno de corazón. Salta en la barra y dale al tambor. De Chile va cerca, más fuerte. Chileno, chileno, chileno de corazón. Salta en la barra y dale al tambor. De Chile va cerca. ¡Por la mierda! ¡Arco de mierda! ¡La Chile sabe! ¡Le hizo un conjuro! ¡Ah! ¡La Chile sabe!
Somebody give that motherfucker $1. Jesus, give him a peso. Look at the poor lady sitting on the floor next to him. She's like ready to die for cover. Someone says decaf. Decaf. Holy shit. Do not give that guy a Monster Energy drink.
If anybody on a subway in any part of the world has ever earned a fucking peso.
For real.
It's this fucking guy.